Because I'm worth it.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I know. Oh, wait, should I do a typical Wicked intro? Hi, everyone.
I didn't know that Wicked had a typical intro. I'm normally doing something else at the start of the stream. I'm like, oh, we've started.
She's
or like opening
she's
a bottle or
quieter
something.
than I am. She's like, I'll be like, hi, everyone, and she was like, hi.
Hello, I'm Wicked here.
Cute and adorable. But anyways, we are wickedless for now. She is on the way home, and hopefully she makes it here soon, as it's going to be a majority unsupervised Saucy Saturday with this brunette.
Yeah, she's on a boat.
Oh
queuing
God,
up
does
for
she
a
drown
boat.
again?
To arrive.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Maybe she's a fan of Harry Potter. Her favorite character is Snape, and she's on Black Snape time.
Well, he could fly. You'd think she'd be on time.
They don't have clocks.
It's
I
true.
don't know.
They did have like a lot of like a weird obsession for the past. Like still going around on brooms. That you could have thought you'd come up with something a little bit more up to date. That you at least kept with you all the time. You know, what you're gonna carry a broomstick around you just underneath the stuff all the time. Where they come, I don't know. One thing I haven't seen people complain about in the trailers much is that the brooms they're using are just like random house cleaning brooms. They're not the witch's brooms from the original Harry Potter. So they've actually even gone back. Now it's just something, you know, I can fly in it, then I can clean my kitchen, which at least is a bit more functional.
You know what? If my $20 to $30 Velita broom can fly, I would love that.
Probably cost a bit more, I imagine, if it could fly.
Well, probably, but or
Also,
can I just enchant it?
We already have enough problems with cars. Do we really want random people flying around the country? Can you imagine the crashes?
Yes. Hey, you know, it's not just Asian people that crash. You know, Tiger Woods has been in multiple car accidents that he caused.
Well, we saw with, yeah, but probably down to the other person with him and what she was doing at the time, I imagine. But can you imagine the thing that happened? Like, immediately, we invented drones, had to just ban everyone using them. You've got to phone up a certain place to get permission. You can only go for a certain thing. You can't go near a certain building. The moment we have, like, flying cars or something like that, it will be automated or nothing. You will just be controlled by Elon Musk personally around the city.
That's what Neuralink is for, okay? I'm ready to be taken, Daddy Elon.
I don't know. I love tech. I love gadgets. I think that's my line. I think having a chip in my brain is my line. I could understand, like, computer-controlled arms and stuff, which give you, like, super strength and all that.
Oh, but like an exoskeleton on your body. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would either have to be, like, an exoskeleton or, like... you always see in, like, Deus Ex and stuff where people will have an arm removed, be replaced with a robotic arm because it's better. I get that. But especially, my issue with the brain chip is they upgrade, right? So the technology becomes outdated, and you're not upgrading that thing in your head. It's in there. You're not going to have major brain surgery in next year to get the iBrain 2 or whatever it'll come out as.
It would just do an update. Just like, you know, plug yourself in, you know, USB-C.
That'd be software, though. The fundamental hardware would get updated. You're like, well, you'll get all the early adopters that are just left with the really crap brain tech, and then you'll have the super rich people that only just got on board now with the sort of super-powered version of it.
Well, I will not be adopting that anytime soon, if ever. I'm happy. I'm more than happy just living life with my potato brain. It's got me this far, okay?
There is other technology, though, which I don't know whether you would be interested in, and it allows me to introduce you to my favourite Irishman.
No.
Now, I don't know, especially for the ladies in the audience, whether this might be useful to you.
No.
But this is a brand new piece of technology.
I'm scared.
When you're on a date, and you might need to use the loo.
When you're on a date and need a poo.
You just pour that in there.
Smells incredible and provides a cushion to hide noises. Simple flush after and no one will know.
Just take a little shite for yourself. What are you trying to cushion the blow for? Nobody's listening to you. When I'm in there, sometimes I might even throw in a little bit of dialogue. That was lovely. Now needed that job done. If you're a guest in my home and you ask to use my toilet, I assume you're doing a little shite or a little wee for yourself. I've probably even put out my nice toilet paper to enhance your experience. If you're not doing either of them, that's when I start to worry. What are you doing in there? Are you plotting against me? My toilet is not a base of operations for you to bring your little chemistry set into and fill it with goo. Don't be worrying about the smell, it's natural. Trust me, no smell that you're going to leave in there is going to shock me of all people. I've created fragrances I haven't smelled before or since. Anyway, hopefully this was helpful. Follow me, I'm delicious.
I mean, there's poopery for the smell, but I never thought about the sound
Cushioning for the noise, yeah.
Being, like, I would think your farts are gonna, like, what noises come out of your own hole when you're pooping is more the problem than the splashing when you hit that.
Well, that's why they go into the bathroom. I mean, hopefully on a date, the guy isn't outside the bathroom listening. That would get really weird.
That would be really weird, yep.
The noises themselves you think you could get away with, there is, apparently, I think this is more of a woman thing than a guy thing, but apparently, where it's like, oh my god, stuff needs to happen. I'm gonna make noise, I'm gonna fart. They leave the room. It's like, you can't find out anything about that.
Oh my god.
It's been known. I think the guys, there was a comedian on British TV at one point, and he was like, he thinks that's the best sign of like a healthy relationship is just one guy holding his wife's head onto the covers, and she's like, oh my god, I can smell it, I can't breathe.
Oh my god. For me, if I can't fart in front of you, it's a no-go. I'm sorry.
You're like, you accept every part of me, including the air.
Yeah, the air that comes from here and the air that comes from there, okay? If you can't be with me. I mean, it's not that I fart a lot, it's just, you know, it's normal. Like, is it really that weird to like fart in front of your partner? I'm trying to save you. I've heard that farting reduces the incidence of cancer. You're welcome. I'm saving your life.
That can't be true, because you couldn't not. Like, otherwise the pressure would just infinitely you'd be like a pigeon. Apparently pigeons can't fart. Like, it's impossible for them. So humans couldn't be like that. It'd have to go somewhere.
Okay, it may prevent cancer. It doesn't actually. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was going to say, your only other option is burping. Like, it's got to go one way or the other.
It's got to go out somewhere. No, I am not going to. I cannot fart on demand. Okay?
Can you imagine the skill, though? If he was like, yes, I can do it on command.
I can't fart or burp on command, so that's a no.
You need like a third lung or something.
No, that's weird. I'm not going to do that.
Well, did you hear why that trend ended?
Because she found herself in the hospital.
Yeah, it wasn't for lack of demand. She got hospitalized for it because of all the food and everything she was making to produce it. Which at least means she was committed, because you could always think they might be faking it. Yeah.
I mean, there was the sweat trend. Do you remember that? Where they were collecting beads of sweat into a little vial.
No, but there was... I was like, so two things. There was a British science show where the science said that he could predict the man that the woman would choose from smell of their sweat alone. So he got them to sweat on a t-shirt, handed them the t-shirt, and this was after he DNA tested them, but he got the man right, who she said he was the most attractive from his smell, because it comes down to, like, genetic compatibility.
It's true.
So it's not... humans don't have pheromones, but there is a smell sense to it.
there are people like, well, you do find if you don't like a person's smell, you're definitely not compatible with them long term, especially when they get stinky. Well, I mean, there is such thing as BO on everybody except for some Asians, but majority, a little stink can be kind of sexy. A little, not a lot, a little, okay?
But there was also, I think it was a Japanese TV show or something, where the competitors had to do any activity they wanted to do, and they had to sweat into a jar, and the person who sweated the most won the competition. And I'm like, there is nothing stranger on planet Earth than Japanese shows.
Japanese
they're just
game
bizarre.
shows are amazing.
They will do anything, anything at all. They just come up with the idea. My favorite is still where they walk into a lift, the lights go out, and a little girl climbs out of a box and just stands in a corner, and they crap themselves. It's my favorite thing to watch videos of.
Oh my god. Okay, let me see if I can find some Japanese 90s game shows, especially the physical ones where okay, this is 2020.
We used to have a show, I think it was called Bonsai or something like that, which was just a collection of random foreign quiz shows and the weird things that they do. What happened there?
I don't
did
know.
something slipped?
I think something fell.
What it sounded like.
I don't know. Okay, so I think this is the game show I used to watch, Takeshi Castle. And this is just all these different human fails. What are you doing?
Some of those look like they hurt as well.
They do. But it's fun.
Oh.
Anyways, so you guys get the idea. They do some of the stupidest things, but it is what it is. Oh my gosh. So, guys, this is some sad news today. Nestle said about 400,000 of their KitKat candy bars were stolen from a production site. So this actually might affect their Easter numbers because they're not going to have enough KitKats to share amongst everyone, unfortunately. And that would make me very, very, very sad because this is one of my favorite chocolate bars.
No, I always thought that the KitKat Chunky was better than the individual ones. I don't know why I've always thought the KitKat Chunky tastes better, because I imagine it's exactly the same ingredients, but I think it does taste better.
It's probably ratio, because I like Oreo Thins much better, because the ratio of cookie to cream is way better I know, and people are like, oh, I like it when it's stuffed or whatever that one is with the thicker.
Double stuffed.
Double stuffed, yes. And then, whereas the Chunky, I think, because I've had Chunky before. Don't clip that.
Look, I said double stuffed. This is already getting into weird territory.
The chocolate on the periphery is a little thicker, so you're getting a better ratio of the chocolate, and it tastes so good. And then the wafers are thicker as well, so it's extra crunchy. And now I want a KitKat. But the
thing about this, though, in my mind, I'm imagining an Ocean's 11 style heist, but in reality, they probably just walked onto the land. Some keys were in ignition and just nicked a truck.
And then just took the truck. Because this also happened in Canada where millions of dollars of maple syrup was stolen. Did it really impact anyone besides the owners of the corporation?
How are you going to get rid of it? What are you going... at least with these things, you're like, okay, they're small, they're cheap, you can probably offload them to, random news agents and stuff. But that much maple syrup has got to be tough to get rid of unless you know factories that actually use it.
Black market maple syrup, guys.
Yeah, there's just a guy in a dog alley. You got any of that good stuff? I need another jar. It's out from underneath his coat. He's just pour it into my mouth.
Honestly, though, real Canadian maple syrup made so much better than the stuff that you get in the stores. I'm so sorry.
Look, after what I saw on MILF Manor 2, I never want to try it. MILF Manor 2 put me off Canadian maple syrup forever.
That episode. That was episode 1 or 2, right?
That was episode 1. Because it was before their dads arrived. And the moment their dads arrived, they went off the young'uns and they were like, oh my god, they all look so gorgeous. They're actually so mature, they're more like me. But whereas, 2 hours before, there was one woman just licking a man. She wasn't even trying to win. She was just licking a man.
She just wanted to lick him. I mean, the thirsty women they get on that show is insane.
At least the first one, it was a bit weird because it was like, open your mind to new things that you may not have tried before, and they got the mothers to feel up their sons. Whereas in this one, it started with all the introductions, and each woman was like, I've got like 4 babies from 15 different baby daddies. I've been divorced 17 times. It was just like a parade of the worst things you could possibly say about yourself. That was their introduction. It's like, I know what I'm in for with this.
You know what? It probably influenced the last Bachelorette that got canceled. So.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm still wondering if there's going to be a MILF Manor 3. Because I was amazed there was a second one, to be honest, let alone if there's more.
I mean, it would make good TV.
Well, my favorite, it's on the TLC channel, and I don't know what that means over there, but over here, TLC means tender loving care. So
it's supposed
to be like a wholesome network.
Yeah. I mean, the family in the States, the family unit is just not what it used to be either, though. To be fair.
With entertainment like that, I can see why. It's like, that's what you're pushing on everybody.
We keep it in the family, Bama style.
The strangest thing I've ever seen, well, there was a couple of things. There was the one guy talking about how he got pink eye, but there was another one where they had to feel up their sons and guess who their son was by feeling their body. And this woman just went, him. And wait, how do you know your son's muscles that well that you can just identify him immediately? It was so strange.
Were they like hairless compared to the other guys? Because then maybe, you know.
No, they were all like well preened. A lot of them were muscular. And because she was just like, well, we work out a lot of the time. And I'm like,
you touch each other a lot of the time?
Yeah, if you're putting like oil or something on your son that often, you can recognize it by feel something's gone horribly wrong. There was also a guy who got very offended and very kind of angry. I think he was simultaneously angry and disappointed when his mum said she shagged his best friend.
Oh my god,
really
I remember
affected
that from
the guy.
Episode 1. That was... I would hate that. I mean, that is so gross. I wonder how the Smith family dealt with that.
Well, she blamed him and he accepted it from what I saw.
Oh, it's so gross. Like the idea that your kids are not safe. Well, your kids' friends are. You think that they wouldn't touch them.
Yeah, you never want to bring the guys back to your house again. It's like, be careful for my mom, she's a predator. It's not like it's a good conversation.
You can't F this one, okay?
Just leave me one. I just want one untouched from you.
Oh god. Anywho, let's catch up on some super chats. Wasp for $4.99 says Tiger is part Asian, just saying. Well, we know what part was driving then, clearly.
Yeah, everyone was always like, I'm surprised he cheated. I'm surprised he didn't squirt himself out. Inside out. Like, he was one of the most popular men of all time. Women would have constantly been throwing at themselves at them. Day in, day out, all the time. I'm surprised he wasn't worse.
He's an athlete. And I think athletes are
he must have
more
been, not to have it drop off.
Huh. Gross.
Can you imagine the stamina?
I don't want to imagine that. No, thank you. No, thank you. D-Day Direwolf member for 1 month says, can Neuralink give women logic? The illogical aspect of women is emotional, so you'd have to turn off the emotions on them. Do you think you can do that with Neuralink?
I don't know. I think you may be expecting too much of Elon. Like, there's going to be some things that even he can't do. He can travel to the moon. He can't make women think.
We all have to remember, even Elon has put it in crazy, okay?
True. Although a lot of his apparently are IVF. And I think that's because he'll be one of these people where it's like, he wants to choose the best genetics among all the different options. So it's like optimization. Which is very him.
And then like with the whole Ashley St. Clair thing, if it was by, regular sex, yeah, maybe he regrets not doing IVF now.
That's entirely her. That like she had the gravy train for life and went, it's not enough. It's like, darling, that's way more than you'll ever make in your entire
she
life. You
literally
cannot
got
do better than that.
all the money, didn't have to check the genetics of the child, got a car, got an apartment, decided to sell the car, and all. Like, what?
The apartment was $40,000 in rent a month. Like that, just accept it, love. Like that is hypergamy taken to another level. Like nothing is enough for her on Earth.
I will literally, like, I will live in Hojo nowhere for $1,000. Take that $39K and you can just put it in my bank.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, she
Hi.
was
Sorry.
getting
This is gonna hate how my mic sounds. I didn't get back to my room. I'm sorry, everybody.
really loud.
But I wanted to come say hi.
Really loud.
I'm gonna lower her mic.
Yeah, lower me. I'm only coming.
Really
I just wanted to come say hi. This
Okay,
was
how
like
about
loud noises.
No, not until it goes quiet.
Is that better? I lowered it a
I
bit.
don't know. Let's test.
Hello.
Test it.
It's still really loud.
Oh my gosh. I'm talking like super low too.
Oh, that's better.
Okay, I put it to literally like 10%.
Yeah, no, this is why I'm going. And she just keeps talking. I'm like, no, it's too loud.
This was like, shut up, woman. No, I just wanted to come say hi. I was supposed to make it for a little bit, but I have, friends in town. But I wanted to come say hi. It wasn't supposed to be like this.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't know what it was supposed to be like, but here we are.
I was supposed to have my mics and be in a quiet room. That's what it was supposed to be like.
You've got like popping audio as well. I don't know why.
The audio file in Disprew's like, nah.
I know. I'm gonna pop on and say hi. I just said to my friends, I'm like, Disprew's gonna get so mad because I don't have my mic. But I'll go before I ruin the stream. Before you end it,
Don't end it.
I'll hop on.
Yeah,
No,
do
not end the stream.
I won't. I'm just gonna back out. All right. I love you guys. I love you, chat. I'll try to hop on a little bit and say hi again. Okay. Bye.
Bye. We are in the Wicked queue.
We had to be. I couldn't hear anything else. It was just like the voice of God beaming into my brain. It was that loud at the time.
We got a Wicked God appearance. I love it.
But Ashley Sinclair did have a lot of money. It wasn't just the apartment. She was getting like $500,000 or something regularly.
A year. Yeah.
Yeah,
On
and
top
it's like,
of it.
oh, that's for child support. The thing is, I don't know if you know about children. They don't spend much money. They don't need $500,000 a year. It's like, how much can a baby clothes really cost?
She did not need to live in New York either.
No, but you don't know whether I think I heard like he chose the apartment because he wanted her to be near where he could get to him, kind of thing.
I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah,
that would make
because this
sense.
is the thing. I know he's got like 14 children or something, but I think he does actually get involved with them and stuff. It's not like he just inseminates them and leaves.
Yeah.
And he makes sure they're all looked after and things. Like, I know some people have a problem with it, but I don't. I like it's the same with the Olympics. Like, if you can send us to Mars and like invent $2 trillion companies, I want you to have as many kids as possible.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if you can care for them, have as many as you want. I think Nick Cannon was the last one that we like heard of doing that. He has like however many kids with however many women, but there's not a lot of men that do that. Also, because it is kind of a headache. I cannot imagine trying to spread your time around, remember every kid's name, etc., etc. Like,
especially his.
There's
like he'll call
names.
something like O2ZXY. And you're
I
like,
remember
sorry?
when that first came up, and we're like, "How do you even say that?" No idea.
I don't know. Says the person that called themselves XUE. It's like, well,
hey, that's a Chinese name, okay?
or an Elon baby. It's like it could be algebraic equation, and we just
Daddy
don't know.
Elon? Oh my god. Well,
Like
X
I'm
is what-
Shu, solve for
Okay.
X.
Bless you. Yeah, I would probably name them Kid 1, Kid 2, Kid 3.
I'd remember which one was 2. I'd forget which one was 2. That'd be the issue there.
Yeah. Let's well, Daddy Elon can keep having more babies if he's able to take care of them, able to run his companies and all that. Good for him. Not everyone can. not everyone can. And that's okay. And then there's people who rely on the state in order to feed their kids. That I have huge disagreements with.
And they're more likely to have more kids than the people that are like, well, I can't have one now because I'm not sure whether I can afford it. And it's like, well, look at all these people. they make way less than you and they have 6.
Well, back in the day, I remember when we were looking at just what the government gives you for a household with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. It gets exponentially higher with the more kids you have. So,
really,
at least in Canada.
Yeah, we had at one point ours was capped at 2, and then I think they removed it again. But I don't know the numbers for each one.
I think the only thing that I would like to change when it comes to giving money is there has to be a drug check. I don't like the idea of giving money to druggies so that they can spend on the black market.
I'm basically against the idea of giving money to people in the first place, but if you are going to do it, then I think it should at least be tied to physical items. Like, at least America has, like, food stamps, you can only spend them on food, and then, like, you can only spend it on these foods. And, like, I think that's a far better way of doing it than what we do, which is just they put money in your account. And so now it just becomes... And you can argue that, actually, if you start giving them, like, diaper funds or whatever, then the money they would have spent on that just becomes free money, and so it doesn't actually make much difference. I get that argument as well, but I would prefer not to give people anything, and that way, if you can't afford to have them, you don't, and then if you can afford to have them, you do, and that will lead to a better population, not a worse one.
I agree. Absolutely agree. Get these moochers out of my sight. Jason Webster for 2 Australians says, so a world like that in Ghost in the Shell 1995.
I've still not seen Ghost in the Shell.
I think I watched it, but I don't remember. I've been doing like a old school 90s, 2000s movie kick. I watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith again. It's literally almost been 2 decades.
I love Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
So
I think it's
good.
awesome. Have you ever seen the deleted scene? You know when they're in the elevator and there's like a scene where they go up in an elevator, the doors open, they see people, the doors close, and they just go up again? In the deleted scene on the DVD, that's an entire fight scene. They go out into the supermarket.
Oh, that would be fun.
It's the best fight scene in the entire movie, and they cut it. I think it's a disaster because there's a guy throwing knives, and he's like throwing knives in the guy's arse and stuff. And then at one point, she throws them, and she throws one in his other arse cheek. And it's like, would you mind? And they just keep going. It's a great scene.
Because she did throw a knife at Mr. Smith in his leg. I remember that.
Oh, maybe there's a second. Maybe it happens again in the scene though. These days I don't know whether it'll be on YouTube or something, but I always remember I just watched that fight scene on the DVD because it was so good.
Yeah.
But that is a movie that really perfectly blends comedy and action. And there isn't many that do that.
I agree with that. Comedy in the right places. I watched Total Recall, and I know people are gonna hate me. I watched the Colin Farrell one, but that's the only one I've ever known.
You've got to watch the original as well. But
I need to watch the original, so just to compare. But because I've only watched one, I like it. So I'm assuming when I watch the original, I'm probably gonna not like the original.
No, the original's a lot better, but I find it difficult to critique that one because it's got Kate Beckinsale in it, and she just knock out a man with her crotch. So
she's very hot. Both her and is it Jessica Biel that's in it?
I'd have to Google her.
I think it's one of the Jessicas. They're so hot.
I only know Jessica Alba.
Colin Farrell also very hot. So I haven't seen the original. Okay, don't come at me, chat. It's like comparing like a movie.
Oh, it was Jessica Biel.
Yeah, you can't compare a lesser movie to a greater movie if you don't know what the greater movie is.
There was another line in it I loved from Kate Beckinsale, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something along the lines of, "He's always loved the way my lips taste." And she said something like, he can't, like, that's just your lipstick or something. And she went, I didn't mean those lips. I thought that was such an amazing line.
Oh, she's probably saying that to Jessica, like.
Yeah, that she's winding her up to make her angry so she makes a mistake. So it even fits into the scene, but I think it's just like a great, like, winding up between two women.
And, like, both women are hot. They're so hot.
Yeah.
You'd be lucky to have any of them, and he had both of them.
But in those kind of movies, there's always a scene they put in where the guy gets one over on the woman, and she's like, "No, you don't understand. I always loved you." And then the moment he's like, "Did you?" Then they just kick him in the face or something, and they're just like, just waited for an opening.
Yeah,
that's why I miss those kind of movies. They were never just about I'm better than you, I can beat you up or anything. It was always the woman using her seductress powers to make an opening she took advantage of. And so you could kind of headcanon why they would have an advantage in the fight.
Yeah, and the thing is, when it comes to being a secret agent, and this happened with early Marvel, you know, you have to use your arsenal of gifts and tools that you have. And I'm sorry, if you're a hot woman, you're going to be using your looks. You use it every day anyways.
Alias didn't dress up Jennifer Garner in a new wig and outfit every week just for nothing. Like, the entire thing was for the male gaze. And they had multiple times, though, where she would meet a security guard and she'd act like a ditzy blonde or something. She's like, "I just don't know where I am. I'm completely confused." And then the moment she got near him, it's like, "I'm sorry, my pass is in my purse somewhere," and just knocks him out immediately, takes advantage of the surprise. Or she'd knocked a guy out and the guy walks in and she starts kissing the knocked out guy and then looks up at him as if, "Do you mind?" And he like gets nervous and walks off as if, "Sorry, I shouldn't have seen that." Like, it adds loads of elements to the story. I really like Alias. I know a lot of people have problems with it. I mean, of course they do. That's what my name comes from. But I know a lot of people have problems with it. Season 3 is the one that I have the main issue with. A load of people, including Gary, hate the ending. But I'm fine with the ending. People think it's not suitably... People have called it Mystery Box. I don't think it's Mystery Box, because there's J.J. Abrams in the commentary for the pilot. This is how much I like I watch the commentaries. But it starts doing, like, this mystical kind of magic element to it, but it's meant to just be a guy who could see the future, and so he invented technology way beyond our technology in the past. Interesting. And he said, if you want to go down that mystical road in a TV series, you have to put it in the pilot. Otherwise, people will be like, "You're breaking the rules of TV." And so it was always set up that it was going to be something magical or mystical that doesn't really fit with, you know, you're going to have to suspend your disbelief for it. So I think the ending makes sense, but most people were pissed off.
I'll have to give that a check. Outsies.
It has my favorite villain of all time, Arvin Sloan. Only equaled or slightly above Raymond Reddington from The Blacklist.
Hell yes, I'm gonna put it on my list. All right, so we have Gary Thomas with a $5. Working at my job at the airport yesterday, when I saw a guy in a private area that looked familiar, I realized it was Nicholas Hoult, aka Lex Luthor. Ooh, that's cool.
I definitely would have been like, "I don't want Lex Luthor on a plane." That seems like a
real
bad
Lex
idea.
Luthor.
Yeah.
Not for real. He'd be on like a private plane if he was Lex. Real Lex.
That's true, yeah. He also wouldn't be in the airport. He would just get escorted to his private jet.
Exactly. So, Mr. Rich Low Pitch for 5 says, "It's a shame Wicked is missing the bathroom discussion."
Well, it can always be re-brought up next week.
Yes, she would have not enjoyed that cushion talk.
I don't know. It was pink. That's my favorite thing about it.
That
Actually,
makes you
they made it girly. No, it wasn't just that they made a chemical to do all this. They were like, "We need to put coloring in it so the girlies like it." It was like, it has to look cute.
Should have put sparkles in there as well.
I'm surprised they didn't. It would probably just stick to the bowl. That's the only reason they didn't.
We tried. It just didn't flush well.
Well, yeah. You also have, like, what happens if it expands too much and now you've just flooded his toilet with pink goo?
Oh my God.
It's like, where did that come from?
What's more embarrassing, hearing poop drop or pink goo all over the place?
I genuinely think explaining to the guy that you're putting pink goo down his toilet is worse than him thinking you're taking a crap. It's like the guy said, like, if you go to the bathroom, he already knows what you're doing. It's not a surprise to him. It's like, it would be weird if you're like, "No, I'm recreating, like, what is it, Frankenstein in your bathroom."
Almost every girl I know can, like, poop quickly, though. So, I don't know.
That's a weird evolved talent. It's like, no, we're actually more vulnerable.
Yeah,
I think Mike's
you want to make
weird.
sure. You want to make sure.
Mike's weird because he said this before. He like takes his phone with him and stuff, and I'm like, if you need to be on the toilet for so long that you need reading material or a video game, go to a doctor. Like, you shouldn't be on it for that long. Like, this isn't something you should need like extra material for.
You can prolapse sitting on a toilet for too long.
Really?
Yeah,
That
that's
sounds
a possibility. Your butt can fall out.
That would be a lot worse than pink goo.
I know. Don't prolapse. Only sit on the toilet as long as you need. Don't be in there longer. If you want to scroll your phone, do it somewhere else, okay?
Yeah, do it in a place which has a seat.
And a covering, okay?
Yes.
Gary Thomas, thank you for becoming a Potato Squad member. Ken Burrows with the 2 Canadians says TLC used to be the learning channel.
Okay, that's probably what it is. I just said TLC over here means tender love and care. If you write it anywhere, that's what people will read it as. But I didn't know what the channel was. I'm not sure that MILF Manor is something you need to learn about, though. I mean, I did learn a lot. I didn't know people were that degenerate on Earth, but...
Oh, it can be worse. I mean, we know the furries.
These people were worse than furries.
And the maids.
These, because it wasn't just what these people did, it was that they had no shame and were happy to have it broadcast across television.
You know what?
Like the guy that got pink eye
channels.
I probably would have respected the men more if they did, although I also would have not been surprised that they were after women. But there aren't many straight men on OF. There just aren't.
No. Definitely not. Not from what I've heard. Jason Webster.
Well, from the women's point of view, it's like, why would I pay for it? I could just go to a bar.
Well, and girls can get, pretty easily. Although, when it comes to literal dating, it's a bit different. If you want to have an actual long-term partner, it looks like it's a bit more difficult for women now.
But no one is going on OF for a long-term partner.
But if we're talking about quickies, one time type of thing, I think it still holds very true that women can just easily get D.
Well,
anytime.
Have you ever seen there's like in street interviews? So they had a hot woman and a hot guy, and they're just standing on a bridge somewhere, and they'd ask passers-by, "Do you want to just go somewhere and do it?" And
they?
all the women to every single woman went no, and they clearly looked like creeped out, as if what on earth is happening. All the guys, some of them went sure. And the ones that said no always gave an excuse or were very apologetic. They're like, no, look, love, I really would. I'd love to. I definitely would, love. But I've got a partner. Or they were like, I'm sorry, I would, but I've got to go to work. They were more like, I don't want to offend you, but I'm still saying no. But I definitely would, but I can't now. It's like there's such different reactions.
Another day, another
time.
If
you just caught me at the wrong time, love, that's the only problem.
Well, girls, I mean, this makes sense on an evolutionary standpoint. Girls have to be pickier about who they mate with. They can't just, upon seeing a guy, unless it's someone they know, whatever status, blah, 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 they're not going to say yes. We've seen this even with, what's that show with the red balloons where they pop it when they're not interested?
I don't know the show, but I know the one you mean. Yeah. I just don't know its name.
Literally, there was like a guy who looked kind of nerdy. This like, I didn't think he looked like a bad looking guy. Guy comes in, every girl pops the balloon. Then they're like, oh, he has his own company. Oh.
Can I reinflate it?
You have a company.
They're there like with puncture kits.
you cook? You love your mom? Okay. But that's the whole judge your book by its cover, and I mean,
well, that's an evolutionary thing, though. I think you should judge a book by its cover. Like we evolved that for a reason. It is true most of the time.
Most of the time, I think. If he came in looking grungy, that would be no. Like I wouldn't do like what is it called? The teeth thing? Grills. No grills, no face tattoos. Those are hard nose. Not okay, maybe one nose piercing, maybe. I don't like piercings on a guy though. Okay, Ken, now that's a no. That's a hard no for me. Like those are just like heavy nose. This guy is just well dressed. He just looked a little nerdy. But then again, I do like nerdy people, so.
Well, it's the entire thing. You often find, though, that the really wealthy people like your billionaires, they're not... It's new money, low-class new money, which dresses really fancy. They've got, like, all the gold chains and everything to the point where you can tell they're rich.
No,
Old money, tech CEOs, they tend to just wear, like, jeans and a T-shirt. And that maybe those jeans and T-shirt are very expensive, but they just look like jeans and a T-shirt.
What was it? Well, I know Zuckerberg was one of the first that I noticed, but it's like they buy the same T-shirt, they buy the same jeans, and they wear the same thing day in, day out because it's just easier.
Yeah. Well, I have mine are just wool T-shirts. They're all black. They're all exactly the same. They're all the same brand. Just so much easier. Like, I just go, grab stuff, wear it. I don't care.
Interesting. Now, okay, Jason, we'll get to you. Ever notice super rich guys have ugly wives? No.
This is apparently, because it differs, right? So Bezos, depending how you define the last one, but Bezos has clearly gone for the surgically enhanced kind of more like Instagram kind of look, whereas a lot of the others, yes, they do. But apparently going from, I think it's Basecamp said that it depends what circles you move in. So again, your really old money, your people, your really successful, like hyper successful men are looking for a wife who can provide something for them. So whether they run their business or they help them at parties, going around socializing with everyone, they're looking for some kind of talent for their wife to help them with. And then you move down a strata and you suddenly get into men who are after their wife just because they want to, like, shag them. They just want to be attracted to them. So yes, exactly that. So you go from, like, normal people who kind of just match up. The millionaires, they're like, I want really hot people. The billionaires, your wife's got to be useful to you. She is a tool. She's an equal part of your stuff. And this was actually happened with Clarkson's wife, the previous one. When they divorced, she had to prove that she was part of his business in order to get a lot of his money. And she said that he pisses everybody off all the time. He's really abrasive. He's really disagreeable. But she was like the peacemaker that went around and always socialized with other people so that they wouldn't just fire him. And so she was a viable part of the business. And I think that's what a lot of people's... Because if you are that rich, you're probably disagreeable, but probably for a good reason. You probably are the smartest person in the room, or you do know what you're talking about. And so if someone's an idiot, you just tell them so. It's like, I don't need you. I don't need to keep you on side. I'll just tell you the truth.
Yeah. Well, okay, Mark says here, Trump was a self-made multi-billionaire before he became president, and he's married to a runway model. Trump is not old money, which makes sense why he was married to a runway model. But then again, you have to remember, Melania has also really helped him with his life.
I imagine she does actually do a lot of the socializing at parties and stuff. One thing that attractive women will be is people want to be in their company. If you are attractive and you say something, people are more likely to believe you. But like I say, it's not this. Whenever anyone says a general rule, they don't mean everybody. Like, I even said Jeff Bezos is an exception, even though he would also fill in that category. But if you look at a lot of people, it is, as a common trend, it's true. So,
general and the exception. She obviously is an exception.
Yeah, like whenever anyone talks about a general thing, they don't mean everybody. And this is a tactic that the left have used against people to make people think that that's a justifiable, like, comeback, when it isn't. It's generally done for two reasons. Either someone is, like, they can't understand the point, or they're trying to draw the point away from what you're saying because they don't like the point and they don't want you talking about it. So they want to move the conversation to arguing about this exception somewhere. The other reason it's done for is they want you to add, like, loads of caveats. So if you say billionaires, you're supposed to go, well, on average, billionaires, but we're talking about trends and not individual. And now your message is lost. No one's going to listen to you because you are too unwieldy in a conversation.
And when it comes to debating, I've seen, like, I love watching people with opposite sides talk, and it's just most of the time yelling at each other. Getting a proper debate is so nice.
Well, the issue is you can only debate with essentially people who also want to find the truth and we don't live in a situation where people want to find the truth on an online debate.
Absolutely.
They want to be seen to win to their own audience. And so they're already preaching to the choir, and so no one gains anything. And this is why so much comes down to just like the definition of words and stuff. It's not you talking to your friend.
It's literally Twitter arguments when people argue over things. I'm just like, guys, you are arguing over the same thing. For the most part, they just want to say, they literally just want to win. Anything to win.
It's like me and you have disagreed on stuff on the stream, but we both are trying to either put our point across, but also get to some kind of actual answer.
No, I just want
Whereas it's not like, well, what do you mean by this word? And you like, well, now I've got to define something. People aren't good at defining things, but they still know. And that's, people think if you can't define a word, you don't know what it means. Because they don't understand there's different types of knowledge. Well, there's different types of knowledge. There's like the deep knowledge of you can explain everything to a 5-year-old, and then I know the general things, but I couldn't actually define it without including things that shouldn't be in it. And because the audience don't know the tactic or the reasons why, or unable to spot all these things, they take it at face value, which is what it's for. And these tactics have been developed deliberately for this kind of arena. And it takes a while for it to filter down, that everyone realizes that kind of thing.
I really like in the middle of things, if we could like define words, because half the time sometimes I don't even know what the word means, especially when it comes to new lingo like mogging, maxing.
See, now maxing is easy because it comes from min-maxing from MMOs. So the gamer terminology, I think you can work out.
Yeah. But when you go into like putting maxing, I'm Looksmaxxing, this it's just I don't know. Maybe it just
did you
annoys
hear?
me.
I saw a new one the other day. It was by yourself maxing. He tried to chat up a woman by walking up to her and said, "I see your." This was his chat up line. So it looks like you're by yourself maxing, and she was just like, "No, I'm fine." It's like, no, but do you want to be at the party? She's like, no, my friends are over there. She says, no, but I think she's like, no, they're over there. Just leave me alone. And she just completely knocked him back.
She's giving F off maxing energy.
Yeah, it's like, take the hint, dude. It's like, well, but walking up to somebody, I see you're by yourself maxing. It's like, because this is why it's so easy. The thing I do appreciate about it is at least the language is formed from some kind of other meaning. And so, like actual language, it has roots that you can follow and work out even if you don't know what the word means. Whereas things like 6-7 are just random things that are said to be random with no intellectual link into the past.
Yep. So since we're talking about maxing, let's get to the clavicular stuff and get this over with. No, I actually think it's quite entertaining because Clavicular, who got popularized on TikTok, he has been a Looksmaxxing influencer. So he's been trying to like promote like I say healthy with quotation. Okay, there's some things that he does that I definitely do not agree with. Osteotomy is being a thing, and meth. You should not take meth to better your health. I mean,
breaking news.
Yeah, no one should be taking illicit drugs to get fit. And no one should be doing bone smashing, whatever the heck that means.
No, but he's described that before. But when he did his like really weird effeminate video about his bedroom, like his morning routine, and
God. It was like, okay, what? It was.
I'm like, that's not doing anything, mate.
This is my fan. It's not. It's like.
I know. It absolutely
that's
nothing.
Not bone smashing.
No, that is not how it. I think he just described that to try and go viral. I think he bigged it up, and his worst mistake was showing
it. And if you want to actually make micro fractures, you need to hit your face a lot harder than this.
Yeah. Now that is, I think Brent Weeks was the guy that made was it the Lightbringer Chronicles, and he was talking about sort of they're equivalent to like special forces, and he had a character where a guy would smash his shins into a wall or something to give them like micro fractures on the front, so that when they healed, his shins were stronger. So if he ever needed to hit someone with his shins, his bones would be stronger than theirs.
Okay, so this actually comes from a lot of Muay Thai fighters that I've seen. They literally will kick anything and everything, including like big trees. This is in Thailand.
Yeah, this
And-
guy was always smashing his shins into things.
So that has excessive force. You're actually getting the microfractures. I don't think that you can force the microfractures to happen somewhere where your chin is chiseled, by the way. Even if you're doing it direct wherever, you're going to end up looking deformed. But anyway, sorry, we're that's what he popularized. And yes, the meth also, not math, meth, okay? Don't do that.
I don't think he's good at math.
No, probably not. but so he two incidences, some pretty big ones. So he'd had his month-long kick thing that started a week ago, and there's so many videos that came out like clavicular is showing how disgusting women are. They'll all cheat on you, blah, 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 blah,
I
blah.
think I've always thought they were faked, even from the first one, because it was the way. There was one came out ages ago. Well, I'll say ages, probably wasn't that long. Where there was like he stole this man's girlfriend in front of him, and
I thought that
she
was
just
fake too.
she was just with him, and the guy walks up to him and he's like, "No, please don't steal her from me." And they're like, no guy would be like, "Please just give her back to me." That was he wasn't angry, he wasn't aggressive, he was begging, and you're like, well, if you're gonna beg, would you even care if
You
she
would
came
probably
back?
punch him. Like, excuse me, F off.
And now, meanwhile, the girl, she's like signaling to people in the other side. She's like, "Look, I'm with him." And
Yeah.
I'm like, she is way too happy to be like with a guy she's been with for months or years at this point, while also signaling to her friends. Yeah, I think he just met her and is like, "Do you want to play this story?" Or people may even like find a clip and just make up a story in the tweet. The clip was never meant to be.
I don't watch it, but anyways, so he does all this type of content. We've seen a lot of it go viral. He got arrested, and he's been released from jail on bail. He apparently tried to stage a fight between two women for content. And then also, I saw this video too, and I hate this, of him shooting an alligator in the Everglades, allegedly dead. I don't know. I can't
it was
tell.
100. It was 100% dead. You saw the amount of bullets that hit it. Whether it was dead beforehand or not, I don't know. But
Well,
it
it's
would have been at the
definitely
end.
dead after it, but allegedly it was dead before they started shooting it. So I don't know. I didn't watch the stream, so I also don't think you should be shooting guns on a live stream.
I saw a horrific clip where they were all shooting into like some kind of reeds or whatever, and then this tiny little guy walked up and just pointed a gun, and he's pointing a gun at a person. Now he's aiming in the distance, but there's a guy at the end of his gun, and the guy looks down at this guy and like craps himself and dives to the side. What on earth are you doing? It is so random and dangerous. I would be amazed if there's not any problems, or if it is, they're just luck.
I mean, that's horrible to hear about, like, people. The thing is, the gun is not the violent thing. It's the person behind the, like, holding the gun. And they should not be holding guns, clearly.
This wasn't violence. It was just, like, ignorance, not... Because I see a lot of Americans where the moment you show a picture of a gun, they're just like, look at that finger control. And, like, the first thing they look for is, like, is it on the trigger? So that you have a lot of Americans, like, really... It's drilled into them since they were a kid. These are people that don't know anything about guns, and you can tell.
Clearly.
They're just waving them all over the place.
So, anyway, so between the fight and the viral alligator shooting, he did get arrested, bonded out of Broward jail, charged with battery, now facing additional charges in other counties, still under investigation about the alligator shooting video. And like, he's been arrested before. He got arrested in Arizona for possibly going into a club underage. Like, he's not even 21 yet. So, whether or not these allegations are real, he has been banned from Kick.
Yeah, it's probably, like, is it temporary or not is the main question.
This is the new Twitch thought ban, possibly, and we'll find out.
Twitch would have banned him long ago. If Kick get him, he's not going on Twitch. Kick is like your most lenient thing. So if this is a permanent ban on Kick, I don't know what he's going to do.
I mean,
but my
who knows if
favorite
it's a
thing was
perma ban?
This isn't a mugshot. This is a mogshot. That was my favorite joke about it.
Stop. So this is like a news report, and he's talking about like finding him as he's leaving. The one thing I actually found very interesting is, you remember how you had said that he was staying in an apartment or whatever? Where he is in Miami, Florida right now, he's staying in a $65K house. Here it is. I don't know if it's the same guy keeping him here.
It rents for $65,000 a month. He's facing charges out of Osceola County near Kissimmee involving a fight between two women. The sheriff's office put out a statement saying detectives determined that Braden Peters instigated the fight and posted it on social media to exploit the two women.
I think he exploits a lot more than women and all that. But this is like a quiet street, but the neighbors have been saying he keeps partying, lots of women around, they hate it. This is not giving a good name to streamers out there.
Oh no, well, it's the same as the guy that went around to all the countries trying to piss everyone off in general. And this is something that Kick has done. So Twitch did, for all Twitch's problems, it did have rules against like causing this kind of drama, banned a load of people. Kick came along and that created a load of people where it's like, well, okay, I get viewers for causing a nuisance in public. Well, if you're going to do that, people get bored. So you have to constantly escalate and escalate all the time until eventually you get banned. It's inevitable. Numerous people, there was a guy who used to go around with a bouncer and he would deliberately piss people off. The moment like, what on earth are you doing? The bouncer came up and he was just like, haha, you can't get me. There's loads of that kind of drama.
I hate.
You just have to ban it. The people causing problems, you just have to ban them. Otherwise, you're just encouraging it to get worse.
I guess we'll have to see what Kick ends up doing with him if he's permanently banned. Whether, I haven't seen a statement from Kick on why they've banned him, just seen that he's banned. So are they waiting to see what the charges are? I haven't read the TOS for Kick that intensely, but
Kick keeps adding new rules. So problems creep up, they find them, and then they make a new rule to get rid of them. I think it was only recently they added like a load more.
If this ends up being like Twitch, he makes them so much money, so they might create leniencies for someone
I'm sure they do.
Who does that. So I guess we'll see. Clavicular, whether he's in the zeitgeist for any longer. I mean, I think he's still on TikTok, but his majority of his money comes from Kick, I would assume, streaming.
Probably, especially if like your people are TikTok, it means they're going to be a younger audience. So you're probably making most of your money from Kick's like hours watched thing more than them actually directly donating.
Realistically, because he also, I've seen that he does like live stream-esque versions of him when he's at the house. He could have a live stream show on YouTube if he just curtails his stuff not to IRL streaming.
It seems to be IRL that causes the vast majority of problems on
the viral stuff,
because you're innately interacting with other people, and so it's like, well, I'll just wind up. I'll play pranks. It's like, yeah, but the other people aren't involved in your pranks. You know, you're just causing drama and trouble and more issues. Absolutely.
So, sorry, this is on topic, but Ian So Forth with 50 British pounds says, stop trying to mog the stream with chat like maxing. It's turning it into a 6-7 affair. I am disgusted that you even brought that up.
Ian's cortisol is rising. That's why he's mad.
Yeah, you know what? Your aura is just... I don't know.
Yeah, stop trying to aura farm on our stream.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I'm not very good.
You're not going to Jester Max here, Ian.
You don't pass the vibe check, Ian. And Ian with another 50 British pounds says, showing a Greg's baker twisting the lattice over a sausage roll is the only way to make Disbrew appreciate finger control. I don't know.
That's my Wuthering Heights right there.
Oh, God.
Well, Greg's is a bakery. It's a famous bakery over here.
Oh, twisting the lattice over a sausage roll is the only way to make Disbrew appreciate. I would like to try this lattice sausage roll out of curiosity.
Greg's make nice sausage rolls, especially for the price.
Oh, Greg's low-priced sausage roll.
I've seen this so much on like social media and stuff. People are just like, who is Greg? It's like, no, it's a bakery.
Greg. Oh my God, isn't that there's the Greg, the green Greg? No, God, what is that clip? Not Green Greg. Underwater Greg? No. I don't remember. Maybe Chatwell.
Well,
Sorry.
I mean, Greg's actually does merch like this.
Old Greg. Old Greg. I was thinking old Greg. Oh, what's this? Ugh!
It is Greg's leggings.
Guys,
I even saw a picture of a Greg's coffin, which I still don't know if it was real.
if you guys want, buy me this, send it to my P.O. box, and I will wear it for stream.
Greg's leggings.
I
Like, they
will
make
wear
the
it to
weirdest
sleep.
merch. They're just a bakery, but you can't
I
stop
love it.
them.
I love it. I love it. All right, here's another one with the clavicular stuff. 44 Magnum Norris for 5 says, you should not take meth. Words to live by from X-Ray Girl.
It's great life advice.
Don't do drugs. Kids, don't do drugs.
Look, this is the other one. It's a Greg's coffin. Greg's fans can be sent off in a
Greg.
sausage roll coffin as a funeral home
You are the
releases
sausage
unusual
in the-
designs.
You're the sausage in the room.
They will literally allow you to make anything with their branding. It's like, yeah, sure, why not?
Oh my God, Greggings. What size? I don't know, medium or large?
They
I
hope to
would say
break
probably
the
medium.
taboo.
That is amazing. That is amazing. We're Greg's maxing right now, guys.
But I need to be right back a minute.
Okay, I'll read some more super chats. Jason Webster with a 5 says, breaking news, KitKats were stolen from a factory in a daring heist. Police suspect this is the work of a group of a well-sourced cat burglar. Thank you, Jason. Gary Thomas for 5 says, Disbrew, can you... Oh, we'll save this for Disbrew. Wolf de Mexico for $1.99. The greed of modern women repulses me. I agree with this. So, Wolf de Mexico, I hate that... And I've seen this because I work at a predominantly male or female field with X-ray techs. And the amount of times that I check my friends, I'm like, but did you think this? Did you think that? Like, you can't just assume that they're ignoring you. Did you tell them to leave you alone or whatever it is? Like, a lot of the times it's assumptions, and it's the hard thing with at least dating. Women assume a lot of things based on women's previous experiences, which is with a lot of women, unfortunately. And so they have a hard time thinking logically that this is how a male would think. And the thing is, I grew up with brothers. I have a lot of male friends. So I do have a weird perspective into the male psyche that is a bit more fair and logical. And it makes it, it makes it, I guess, easier for my friends to understand once I explain what's going on, at least on that perspective. So dating sucks. I hate dating. Okay, I'm going to keep that. Monkey Hate Clean for 5 says, I haven't talked to my wife in years. I thought it would be rude to interrupt her.
That's like, I've only ever been drunk once in my life, but it was 18 years ago.
I've just been drunk the entire time.
Yeah, I think that's the way critical drinker lives.
Yes. Okay, so Gary Thomas for 5 says, Disbrew, can you look up Hirotada Otataki and give thoughts between him and Dayton Weber? They are the living embodiment of where there's a will. He meant Hirotada Ototaki affair.
Affair?
I have no idea what that means. I don't know what that means. So
in 2015, he entered the National Graduate Institute for Policy Studies. 2016, shortly before he was due to complete his graduation, Tabloid magazine reported he had affairs with 5 women since the birth of his eldest son in 2008. Wait. There's more.
But
Okay,
wait, there's more.
I need to show you this title because I read the Grok summary and I was not expecting this title. Okay, I'm getting pop-up with millions of vibes.
Let's see.
Famed Japanese author with no limbs confesses to 5 extramarital affairs. Political career. I mean, ads. What on earth?
How does he move around in a wheelchair that has no remote? What the heck? Oh no, he
Imagine
does.
how skilled he must be with his tongue.
No. It's there. You would have to be if you didn't have arms.
Well,
You know,
yeah,
I think his penis is actually longer than any of his limbs.
that's true. But the thing is, they wouldn't know, right? So there must be, like, he must be able to, like, really convince them to get there before they even find out. That may get them to stay, but he's got to get them there in the first place.
You know, he probably is very suave, I hope.
He must be, right? This guy must be the most skilled person on the entire internet. Just the
Also,
fact that that's even possible.
when you're that armless and legless, does that mean that you have to eat way less because you can't exercise?
Yes. Yeah, because all the cells in your arms no longer need, like, calories and
And
stuff.
same the legs. Your legs eat up so much. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, because all of the cells in your muscles are like little furnaces that constantly burn calories.
Does he wear pants or does he just wear underwears? Because he doesn't have...
I imagine he wears like shorts or something, I would imagine.
Because he's in a
must do.
business suit. You have to make
Yeah.
some custom business suits for that body.
Well, I mean, he's preparing for a political career, so he must be successful. And a famed author. Like, does he just talk to somebody else that writes it down?
Oh, I mean, with the voice to text these days, you can actually do a lot with that.
Well, true, but I imagine he's been doing it for longer than voice to text was around, kind of thing.
Oh my god.
So whether there was someone he could dictate to that then got him famous, and then he's like, no, I don't care about you, I've got an upgrade now. And maybe people just read his work and like, oh my god, you're so amazing, you're so intelligent, I must have you.
Well,
And
also,
so they
you
were
have to
already
remember,
prepared for the no arms.
he had parents, so if your parents knew you were armless and legless, they would probably help with a lot of things. Assumingly,
true.
because the family is a lot stronger in the East than at least here. Wow.
Struggling to get on in Japanese society. Won in admiration and respect. A frequent commenter on oh, that was why he was famous. He got on television, and so they saw him, and they were so they already knew what he was, like his condition, before they even met him.
Women. How do you get 5 women?
What high status being on television? There was a guy that I can't remember what his name was, but he did like 5 lions on a shirt. The song over here, and he said that once he was bringing a girl back from a comedy club. And he was like knocking on he was like opening his door. His neighbor came out because we were both drunk, so I think we were making a lot of noise to see what it was about. And this woman just went, "Don't worry, darling, I'm just gonna shag a celebrity." And then they walked in. So I think a lot of it is you're on TV, it works.
Hey, fame is a hell of a thing, okay? I bet you that cornhole player is doing well now.
Well, probably. He was famous for zipping around on a custom-built wheelchair with a big smile. 39-year-old non-profit organization to keep the streets clean. That wasn't the only thing he kept clean.
I bet he was cunning with his words.
He was a cunning linguist. He was a very cunning linguist.
So much that he's famous.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Thank you, Gary, for that,
you were
by
the one
way.
that made the joke.
At least it's not Anna, okay? And Jason Webster for 5 says it's all part of Elon's future plan to field an MLS team entirely comprised of his own children.
I've said this to people like Mike. Like, once you've got a certain number of kids, you may as well keep going until you've got enough for a football team. Like, otherwise it's just a waste.
Yep.
Because it was, what was it? The Williams sisters in tennis. They were born and raised to be tennis players. The father was always like, no, you will be a professional tennis player. And so he raised them for that.
It's like some crazy Asian upbringing. You're going to be this doctor.
No, but isn't it more amazing that it worked? Because normally you'd be like, okay, there's going to be limits to anyone's personal, there's going to be a lot of genetic factors to it. But he actually went, no, you just got to overcome them. I don't care.
I wonder. Well, he must have been at least like athletic. You would think.
Imagine so. Yeah, because otherwise it's a bit random of a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if my parents had said, based on what I know of them, they're like, you're going to be tennis players. No.
No, but you're quite athletic. You did a lot of kind of dancing, kickboxing stuff. So you.
But my worst mark was gym. Because I sucked at putting peripheral equipment or whatever, like a ball or a baseball or whatever, hitting it into a certain area. I can't kick balls into nets or baskets or
Right.
whatever it is.
So yours was a vision issue then. You just couldn't see the peripheral stuff.
No,
Which
no.
It's a bit weird because you think you'd be seeing in widescreen.
No. It wasn't vision. I just was very uncoordinated. I was coordinated with my body and like to the limits of my skin, but I wasn't coordinated with another peripheral object.
Yeah, see, I've had weird moments where like someone's thrown something at me at the corner of my eye and I just caught it. And you're like,
See, that's not happening.
You know when you do something, you surprise yourself. That's what that happened to me. So I just went like, and I caught it. I was like, oh, gaming must have paid off. That was my first thought. It's like I've definitely not practiced this anywhere else.
No, see, I can't catch. People will throw things, and I'll go, and I'll be over here.
Oh yeah, there's always been that kind of thing though, where like girls will catch like that, and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So whenever I played sports, I was usually either the defense or goalie or whatever version of that in that game was. I was an excellent goalie. Could throw for crap.
Because you just have to get in the way.
But I just have to get because it's within my own limits, which is my body to block the ball versus putting the ball somewhere specifically. So as long as I could keep the ball away from the net, and that is one of the things I hated because I was very good at being goalie, but I hate being relied on.
I was always a kid. I was always amazed at how crap professional sports players were. So I always remember Beckham, who was always on the England football team and stuff. He was employed to kick a football and hit, I forget what I don't know what the name is, but the flag that goes into the golf hole. All he had to do was kick the ball and hit the flag, and that was the entire advert. And they said he kicked it like hundreds of times, missed every time. In the end, they had to CGI it for the advert. And I'm like, but this always happens with football players. They are awful. If you're on a penalty spot and you see the full size of a football goal, how on earth can people miss this? And I still remember Beckham taking a shot in the World Cup, and it just goes flying miles over it's harder to miss than it is to get it on target. But then you'll get like golfers who have the weirdest situations, always land it on the green, always getting into the hole. And I do think there's just a huge like skill disparity across sports, with football just being the lowest one where you just get away with anything.
With football, you can be a lot of positions just based on size and aim.
I think Beckham's been in a lot of positions.
I'm sure.
That is someone who I imagine would be very much like Tiger Woods.
Oh.
I have no proof. This is just my own personal opinion.
He is literally the most like well-known sports star.
Well, he did make my favorite, like one of my favorite memes though, where his wife was one of the Spice Girls. I've forgotten it. Posh. She was posh, and she's like, "Well, I was raised in a very working class."
He called her out on that. I remember.
And his head just comes around the door and goes, "What car did your dad drive?" "No, we were very working." "What car did your dad drive?" "I mean, we could have been middle class." "What car did your dad drive?" "Well, I got driven there in like a Mercedes or a Ferrari or something." And she's like, "Thank you," and then walks away.
I'm glad he kept her grounded because it's like maybe
he was working class. Like he genuinely was working class, so he knows that.
That's good. I'm glad. So.
I mean, she's literally called Posh Spice. Like, who thought she had a working class background?
She fell upwards. She's the only Spice that has done like super well. The next being probably Scary Spice because she had like judging.
She still got a career.
Yeah, no one else I would imagine had a career past. Jerry seemed like she was gonna have a solo career, but I don't know how she effed that up.
I think Jerry was like a presenter and stuff over here for a while. I don't know whether she still is. I always expected Baby to do, because I thought Baby was the most attractive.
Me
I thought
too.
I thought she would just like marry somebody and be a rich millionaire, but I don't think that ever happened. And then Sporty, I never saw her again ever.
Was she doing anything?
I don't know. I have no idea what happened to her. Never saw her again.
Oh well. John Wayne for 10 says, FYI, TLC, the Learning Channel, which is no longer about learning, obviously. All of these science/discovery/documentary channels have been nothing but reality TV trash for the last 20 years, because that's also what makes them money, unfortunately.
Well, it's very cheap to make, and a lot of people watch it. And for some of them, I'm one of them.
Yeah. Unless you're the Bachelorette, which apparently they spent 100 million on the show.
I don't know how you spend 100 million on that show.
I don't know. They should have just went COVID style, which, you know, be on one resort. That show is just
well,
not.
why wouldn't you be on a resort anyway? Like, surely it's based around the people, not sets.
During COVID, because they were trying to isolate, you know, whatever staff, blah, blah, blah. So they filmed all in one, like, resort. I think it was in Arizona or Texas or something like that. So, like, you could still have dates and set up, like, you know, horse riding and all this stuff, but it's not as extravagant as it used to be with, like, some crazy concerts and whatnot. But
Yeah, but
you don't spend as much going to some place like that.
No, I mean, let's say, even if it's like something like some ridiculous resort where it's like 20 grand a night or something, and then you go to multiple ones and you say that doubles or triples the cost, you're still nowhere near 100 million. Like, I genuinely have no idea how you hit that money.
Who knows? Maybe. Well, the Bachelorette is known for not paying their like the lead a lot, if not anything at all, because they're like, it's about the love, isn't it? If it really is about the love, we'll find someone else, so we don't have to pay you.
Well, this is the whole point. People think that things have an innate worth. They don't. It's only what someone's willing to pay you for. And so if other people are willing to do the show for free and be like, well, maybe I'll be a celebrity out of it, then that's all it's worth. It's just worth free.
Yeah, and it's not as. The influencer market is just not as strong as it used to be. So people are not coming out of these shows with a huge following, unless you're whatever version of beloved it is. And I think it's a little hard to figure out what makes a person attractive. And I think at some point it's about being genuine and having that come across on a TV show. It's difficult.
Even if authenticity wasn't what people liked, which it is, but even if it wasn't, it is the only way to actually have anything which goes more than short term, because if you're faking it, eventually people will find out, and the moment they find out, they just leave you in droves. This has happened so often for people, because nobody's perfect. You will slip up eventually. It would be like me pretending I'm teetotal. Like, if I had a load of teetotal followers and they just met me, like, oh no.
Yep. We're just whiskey drinking, crazy
degenerates.
Yeah, that like reality television shows and like the originals and Vampire Diaries, and I love it.
I like reality TV shows if they've got enough of a twist. So they have to be something new about them, which is why I like Devil's Plan, but I didn't like Devil's Plan 2 so much. There need to be something new. I couldn't watch 15 series of Bachelorette. It's like, oh.
No, it gets very repetitive, and I really did like that spin-off where they brought other bachelorettes back for Bachelor in Paradise. So you just date all the washouts.
Well, I was going to say, doesn't that innately prove that the series is crap if you have all of these past contestants who had to get married and then just on with them anymore?
because it's like because you have like whatever the Bachelorette, say it's the Bachelorette, and you have like 25 contestants that are bachelors. So even if you pick one, there's 24 left over. So then you use this pool of unwanted.
Yeah, they should have called it Bachelorette the Losers.
There's a couple shows that are like that.
Yeah, the leftovers.
My favorite, like like kind of dating, but not really, is like anything with like games and like strength. Like the challenge is really cool because like you do both a social as well as a physical game, and then kind of intertwining that into what is the final challenge, which is a series of like running / hiking and strength and puzzles and eating competitions. So then you have like equalizers, because you can't always just be a marathon runner. You also have to be kind of smart and all this. I find it quite entertaining. But I'm a reality
those things are. I was more the Devil's Plan because I thought it was intelligent. I like some of the Korean stuff where it's sort of this is a reality TV show, but set in a zombie invasion. And so they're trying to fight against a story that evolves.
Yeah.
There was another one which was sort of like a live mystery solving show where all the people were they had to act out a certain role, but they also had to guess who among them was the actual killer. So more kind of things with a different angle. But I also liked I didn't like American Big Brother at all. It seemed too fake. I liked Our Big Brother for a long time until it started to get into like diversity stuff.
Canadian Big Brother has always been better, in my opinion, than American Big Brother because it's a lot more intellectual in the games, and people played a nice social game. Whereas I feel like Americans are just it just seems so fake. Maybe
it's the editing. No, it's the editing that does it. Because it took me a long time to work out why it feels fake to me, and it's because they will show you the thing that's happening on screen, but while it's going on, they cut to somebody in the diary room talking about the event that's happening. And that's how fake TV shows do it. And so you're like, this is out of timeline or order.
Yeah. And I don't like
the
game, and then they come into the diary room and you're like, you already did the game though, so you know the outcome. Like, wait, what?
Oh no, ours always did it in that order. They'll show you the thing, and then you get everyone's feelings and thoughts about it in the diary room afterwards to find out. So you see the drama unfold, and it all unfolds naturally, and then you get them then doing the commentary back over it, and then they'll show like footage and stuff to remind you. I prefer that things done in chronological order, so it feels as if you're watching an actual thing. And it was just because to me, I couldn't tell the difference between like a highly edited production and Big Brother was supposed to be real. It was so weird.
Yep. Ken Burrows for 2 says that was TLC in the 80s or 90s. 80s to 90s. Thank you. Jason Webster for 5 says the only time your toilet should resemble a campsite or a bunker with foods, magazines, games, and a small TV is the night before your colonoscopy. I don't want to know about colonoscopies.
I'm assuming they give you something to prepare you for that. I'm not surprised.
Well, they give you good drugs, to be fair, to relax you. But as someone who has put tubes up people's butts, you know.
Not in a hospital term, just for fun.
No, in a hospital term. In a hospital
I just found a homeless man. I was like, here's $10.
I feel so bad. There's only been one time, and I felt so bad for this kid. And I say kid, meaning they were like in their 20s. Their doctor didn't tell them what kind of test they were getting. And they were like,
no.
Wait, what? And I'm like,
you just turn up and it's like, by the way, I'm going to see parts of you that you didn't believe.
Tube up your butt and fill you up with liquids and all this stuff, and you have to roll around and do like relax, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, that is so screwed up that you don't tell your patient this. And
mind you, I mean, at least he wasn't nervous. You're turning up.
No, he was, and I always feel
he was when you told him. Well, it's your fault, not the doctor.
Yeah, and. It's always
he was like, can you at least buy me dinner first?
He was a good looking dude too. It wasn't like he wasn't a good looking.
You were like, I'm gonna look forward to this one.
And I'm like, this is gonna be so weird.
That's just what you want to hear. You know, you're like, okay, I'm gonna strip and like, oh, hip hurt.
I shouldn't laugh. But yeah, they're like, I don't want to see him in this setting, in this sense.
I want to see him afterwards. It is weird though, isn't it? Like, you've already shoved a camera up there, you've seen her inside, you're like, can I get your number?
Oh, no, I didn't do that. That is definitely a power dynamic. But you never feel bad for the old people because, you know, the little looser. It's always just young men. It doesn't matter if you're good looking or not. You always feel under, let's say 35, maybe 40 that you do this test for.
You're like, this is never going to be the same again.
No, it's not. And you can't make jokes because I want to make jokes, but it depends on if I know them well enough because then it's inappropriate. But, you know, it is what it is. I think
it'd be more weird if you did feel you knew them well enough to make jokes in that scenario.
No,
it's like, just your best friend walks in, you're like, I'm seeing you today, I'm at.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant it more like, if I got their personality, that they were a jokey personality, then maybe I'd make a joke. But I wouldn't do it just, like, as a professional. But my favorite story, not a colonoscopy, it was a barium enema. There was a country singer, and I listened to this on a podcast. The tech, he got a barium enema, and the tech was like, "I'm going to your concert tonight."
Well,
Can you imagine? Like, weird. It's just so.
it's gotta be.
Go for
That's
that.
got to be weird, yeah. If you work at a place and then you're going to like your colleague who's now going to see every part of you, and you're like, well,
I'm
hope
going to
you'll
his
enjoy the view,
concert.
love. I'm
He's so
sorry.
cool. It is definitely a moment. I'm glad I've never been. Put
I
in
never
that
thought about
situation.
that actually. That hospital workers go to their own hospital. I've never considered that.
Oh, well, that, yes. Like, I've done it with myself. I've done x-rays and ultrasounds, but I've never had anything past that.
It would be weird though if you need to get like your bits
Yeah,
scanned.
my bits?
And,
Well,
and,
okay,
and you choose like the most attractive male doctor. And you're like, do you want to see these bad boys?
It's happened. I remember I had an ultrasound, and it was like of my abdomen, and they're like, "You have the choice of 3 men," and I'm like, "There's 4 other ladies."
It's like, no, the men. They've been waiting for this for a long time.
I'm looking at like there's one guy who I know I definitely wouldn't want. There's another guy who I've hung out with outside IRL with all my friends, and definitely don't want him. And there's the other guy who I've never talked to. Definitely don't want him. Can I get the other girl? I'll get anyone, I swear. And I'm sexist when it comes to my medical appointments, okay? I don't know why it is, but I feel that. And I think men are like that too. I don't know what it is, but men prefer women over men when it comes to sensitive areas. Correct or not incorrect?
I don't think I'd care either way, but it's because I see I'm still in the attitude of like doctors have probably seen and done so many things it doesn't mean anything to them at that point. And so, like, you know, well, neither of us want to be here, let's just get this over with.
Oh, interesting. I'm being told incorrect. Some correct, some incorrect.
I think the concern would be for guys if she actually was really hot, that could make things really awkward, depending
Like
on
a
what happens.
boing.
I imagine that would be really awkward because I know that's a concern during like massages and stuff. That it just happens, and guys can absolutely not control that, and so
No,
you're always like,
no,
I don't
you
want this to
can't.
happen.
As a female who's waxed men, one of my favorite stories to tell. Sorry, dude, who I waxed. It was his first time getting a wax down there, and very first strip that comes off. Boing!
It is weird that he
The
found
seas
that
have
interesting
sailed.
because I always thought it was supposed to be like painful, and he's like, no, that's what I like pain.
No, but-
It's
and then-
very odd.
And they're just like, I'm just gonna make the joke now. I guess you like that.
Well, it's kind of weirder if you don't say anything, right? It must be. Like, if you just, like, quietly shuffle out the room and be like, I'll be back in 5 minutes, is almost weirder. It's like when you're like, oh, no. Because I think that is the problem. Because I think all guys know doesn't necessarily mean anything. My favorite thing, there's a joke in Buffy where it's Xander, and he's like, you know, something that happens. And she's like, oh, that affects you? And he's like, I'm a 17-year-old man. Aluminium foil turns me on. And it's like, it is just that kind of, it's like having an alien strapped to your own
So
body.
true.
Like, you have absolutely no ability over it. It just happens.
It's like that Lonely Island song. The wind blew through my window, and
Yes,
it
yes.
is in my
I used to
hand.
love that song as a kid. Yeah, that was awesome. And the wind blew in, and it's like this really deep voice in my pants. It's like great. But yeah, so I think in that scenario, it's less about you and more
It's about
that
the
you don't want
sensation.
No, I think it's that you don't want you don't want her to feel weird about it, or you don't want to think that she's getting the wrong idea or anything. So if she just like scuttles out of the room without saying anything, you're like, oh my god, I'm just going to call the police. I'm going to get in trouble for this. Or if you make a joke and you don't care, I think that actually reassures the guy more than anything.
My favorite, another thing I usually say as well, and I don't remember I said it to him, is just, this makes my job easier.
Yeah, gets it out of the way. It's fine.
Yeah, because without being too crude, men have hair that grow up a little bit past the base. So when the sails have been raised, it stretches the skin.
It means I don't have to do it. It's like,
yes, and it prevents you from hurting more. Sorry, I'm trying not to be too crude about it.
I don't care about being crude. I'm trying to avoid the AI filter.
Okay, well, I think setting sail is a pretty good term.
Everyone understands, especially when you go. When we set sail, folks.
We're pirates.
It's the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Pizza? Yeah. Where's Wicked? We need Wicked to control us.
She would be like, I'm gonna read Superchats.
Yep. Risk It for a Biscuit. Thank you for the 10 gifted Wicked Virtue memberships. Thank you so much, Risk It. Also, I enjoyed seeing your saucy socks. That was cool. That was very cool. All for $4.99. Someone asked me what ineffable meant, and I couldn't find the words. I'm so
I hate
confused.
that. Ineffable means you can't describe it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a dad joke. It's just a dad joke that.
Now I've ruined it.
No, it was bad enough as it was. The thing was, I think it's even done deliberately that way. I think it's meant to be that most people don't know what ineffable means.
Oh my god. Risk It for a Biscuit, thank you for being a Potato Squad member. Cajun Corey for 5 says, what are dog biscuits made out of? Cauliflower. You know, you have to do this a little, just a little.
No, that wasn't even the dad joke that got me. That was just, it was disgusting. Like, now you're eating dogs. We're not Korean.
Hey, I love dogs.
Yeah, the taste of them.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be back.
Okay, the border collies, is that the one? The sheepdogs. They are the really intelligent kind of dogs. I actually got rounded up by them as a kid. Like, true story. My grandparents used to own this little farm, and they would have 2 dogs that... They had sheep, but it was kind of like a hobby thing. It's not a major profitable thing. It was more like, we're going to retire and own a farm. But they have inbuilt genetic training to train sheep. So these dogs had never been trained to round up sheep. The issue was... And actually, no, sheep did escape once, and they just kicked in and just rounded the sheep back up. Nobody even told them. They just did it by instinct. The issue was, I was only a wee little kid, a wee little sprog, and I learned that if I ran, I kicked in the instinct of the dogs to start rounding me up. So they would like come and they'd charge at you, and they would like look as if you're going to attack you, and just about to bite you, they would veer off, and then they'd come back and do it again. So they were interested in it. I was a kid. I was like, I can control these dogs. The issue was, I was told by my parents once that they just heard, Mom! And there I was, stuck in the corner of a field with one of the dogs just like prone, just staring at me. And they'd successfully rounded me up into the corner of this field in the middle of Wales. And I'm like, I can't move. And if I move, the dog's going to come for me. I kind of trolled too close to the sun. I thought it was interesting. It turned out not to be. But I've always liked that about dogs, that they were trained for a certain purpose. And this knowledge just gets like passed down through the generations of dogs. And then you get to the humans, and they're like, no, all humans are a complete blank slate. There's nothing about them that could possibly be passed down by their genetics at all, despite the fact that we know you can put a baby into water and it'll swim and hold its breath. It's like, no, we're all completely fresh blank slates. Welcome. I told a story about a border collie rounding me up once as a kid.
Oh, it actually hurted you. That's cute.
I used to kick it in by running, and then once apparently I was told by my parents that I was just stuck in a corner, and it had successfully herded me into this corner. It was just like prone. It's like, there's no way he's getting out of here.
I got it.
I got outsmarted by a dog.
You know what? I was reading Project Hail Mary, and there's this moment that happens between Grace and Rocky, and they're like, our brains work as quick as each other's. Why do you think that is? And Grace goes, I think it's because evolution is limited by our prey or predators that are around us. So we must have just like, because humans in general, we reach our mental maximum or minimum, if in the sense, reach this point as long as we defeat the predator. We don't have to be smarter.
Yeah, I guess that's true. There is like there needs to be some kind of upwards pressure. So for us, it actually wasn't true. We were still increasing intelligence until the early 1900s. And that came about because infant mortality was so sky high, IQ kept increasing because all of the poor people essentially would die out and have far higher infant mortality, whereas your upper classes and your rich noblemen, their kids survived far more often, and so there was always a permanent incline just from birth deaths. And then once you had kind of medicine, the Industrial Revolution, all that kind of stuff, infant mortality plummeted, and then IQ's been going down. Mm-hmm. So it hasn't been true for a while, but it is now. Now it's the other way around. Now, the more intelligent you are, the less likely you are to have kids. And the less intelligent you are, and the more you're likely to leech off the state, the more kids you have. It is idiocracy. I know that's said so often it's become a trope, but it is true.
Interesting. Well, now we're going to go for something maybe not so interesting. Monkey Ate Cleaver 2 says karate for amputees.
I like that.
Partial arts. Oh, he's going to be so happy he made you laugh.
No, I like that one. That was good. There was a Jimmy Carr joke where it was something along the lines of, I think it was like, no, this is a Special Olympics. People think it's called it's the Paralympics. It means parallel. It says people think it means paraplegic, but if it was called the Paraplegic Olympics, the only sport would be blow football.
Well, there you go. Joy for 5 says those kind of streamers suck. You guys are great. Here's some money. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
I don't have a $40,000 apartment though, so his streams definitely appeal to someone.
I mean, the fact that he's making that much money to pay rent on something like that, like you should not be paying rent on a $65,000 a month. Like,
well, I mean, one of his apartments was apparently bought for him by Aiden Ross, so
he's a well-kept man.
Mm-hmm. And I still want to know which way he swings because I have.
Oh, probably both ways.
I have a guess.
Probably both ways. Poseidon with the 10 says, while doing x-rays, have you had to deal with any odd skin conditions? Curious since I have psoriasis. Tons.
I didn't know if that was a joke or not. I don't know what psoriasis is.
Psoriasis is just like, it's similar, not the same as like eczema. Have you heard of that?
Eczema. Well, we call it eczema, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of similar. There's like, I believe it's like a drying, scaling look to the skin. You need medication, medicinal lotion for it. I don't know what. I could be very wrong.
I'm not sure how odd your skin condition could be, though. It's like, well, I have Mario growing out of my arm. It's like,
yeah. The weirdest skin I've ever seen. It's not even like psoriasis. It would be anything with like severe edema. I've seen, especially with like obese populations, you get some crazy like red, stretched, inflamed skin, and it doesn't look comfortable to have.
I think the strangest skin condition I've seen would be this one.
Oh God. Oh, I've seen this.
Where Kim Novak says Sydney Sweeney is totally wrong to play me in an upcoming film about romance. I never would have approved. And the response is, she looks like how South Park does Canadians.
Oh my God. And that's the crazy thing is like Sydney Sweeney, you're lucky to have her play you. She can look ugly. Look at Madam Web, okay? They totally de-sexified her so much. You couldn't even tell she had boobs.
But look at the two of them. She does look like her face has been cut in half. Like, this woman could play the Joker. It's like, that's how bad that is.
Why so serious?
Yeah, that is a skin condition. I don't know what's happened there. I would get a new surgeon so he stops pulling in the same place.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely agree. Yeah, I'll take psoriasis or eczema over
over some weird indentation in your face.
That is some weird buckle fat surgery you got there, lady.
Yeah. I just want it removed here. Why? I don't know. You should have seen how I got these scars.
Ian so forth with the fitty British pound says, good for him. He's going for a political career without a leg to stand on.
I read a hint. That was my mistake there.
Oh my god. Ian.
Every time X-Ray said he's armless, I always kept thinking of the harmless kind of commentary. I'm like,
He's
I can't.
harmless, and Legolas.
Yeah, it's like it was. I kept thinking of what was it? Jordan Peterson stuff of you don't want to be like a nice person. You don't want to be someone who's not like you need to be a controlled monster, not someone who's nice and harmless.
Absolutely.
It's like he's harmless, he's fine.
Nick Devil, thank you for the 5. Good to see everyone last week. It was good seeing you too. Even if that gator was dead, Clavicula is facing number felonies. Hope these likes make him friends in prison. And the crazy part is, he's going to be a big bish in prison.
Well, I've seen people make the same comment. Yes, the Looksmaxxing thing that makes you popular on the outside makes you popular in prison. He will definitely be. He will be holding onto somebody's pocket.
He will be. You know what? If I were clavicular, I'd find the man with the smallest penis and the biggest muscles. You know, the least painful to be your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is.
So you're after someone who takes steroids. That's what you need.
Yeah, because you are not, like, I'm sorry, he is not someone who looks like he actually knows how to fight. He's too pretty.
No. Well, he's not even particularly muscular. If you like his morning routine didn't really include a lot of weights. That was the thing. Like that's what the whole point about his morning routine. I'm like, it's extremely feminine. Everything he cares about is what a woman cares about, not what a man cares about. It's so strange.
Yeah. And that's the sad part is, like, I think a lot of men put him on a pedestal that I've seen.
I'm not sure they do. I think it might be just kids. Like,
Maybe?
This is a guy who I see retweeted all over the place, but I can't imagine that his content is particularly interesting, especially when you realize that most of it's fake. Oh, I got this guy's girlfriend and all that stuff. It's all fake.
They don't think it's fake, though. They are so...
no, but they're kids.
When the Brett Cooper thing happened, if you watch the video, you can, out of a logical perspective, see that she wasn't actually into him. But there's so many full-grown men that were like, oh, she wanted him so bad. And that's why I don't tend to believe that it's just kids. I think a lot of full-grown, and not saying every man, okay? Some. He is like the messiah that has saved them from all the women.
I think he's way too effeminate to ever get that kind of reputation. And the thing is, I don't think he will ever be seen as a messiah that could like save them from women when he is acting like a woman. Like, everything he values is that as a woman. All of his looks. He's not building anything. He's not actually doing any, like, creating anything like that way. It's all based around vanity, which isn't how men work at all. I still think it's just kids, especially on Kick.
Real
I wouldn't even be
men,
surprised if it's all bot.
because when you get into the very, very far side where you end up paying a lot of the red pill people out there for advice and whatnot, which, you know, I think if you extrapolate from their content what is like good to be a part of your life, that's fine, but I wouldn't pay like hundreds of dollars to be a better man. Like, that's crazy.
Well, most coaching things are overpriced, but they're overpriced deliberate. Okay, so I don't know whether you have the same thing over there, but over here we will sometimes see signs just on a sign lamppost somewhere, be handwritten, be like, "Will buy any house." Now that's deliberately awful, because they're like, if you are willing to sell your house to a street sign that's handwritten, you are so desperate. You will pay. You will accept any offer, and those are exactly the people we're after. So all those Nigerian prince in emails are deliberately awful because they only want the most stupid and gullible of people to be filtered through the funnel. And I think that's like a lot of this. That the prices are so sky high. They're after the most desperate of people that don't know any better. But I don't think that can be really described as like a savior of men or anything. I don't think this is some big thing. It's the same with the red pill. The whole red pill thing is like, you listen to it and you're like, well, a lot of this is just fact. It's just true, and it's notable if you look around the world. But then they go a step further and like, well, now I can teach you how to be a man. It's like, actually, no, you always were a man. Like, it's what you were born. If you just stop listening to society and act how you think you should behave without caring on what everyone else thinks you should behave, you're just going to act like a man because it's innately within you. And if you don't feel like a man, maybe take testosterone. It'll probably make you feel like a man. And so I don't think all of this is anywhere near as complicated as all these people want to make you believe, because they make money out of making you think it is complicated. Like, being a man and a woman actually isn't. Like, gender roles are just...
It really shouldn't be complicated.
We've been doing it for millennia. It's not hard.
I think what I'm seeing now, especially in, the world, is when you don't have the cushiness of safety, that's when a lot of the male and female gender roles really pop out.
Yes, but I also think that the male gender role has always been there. It's the women which have rejected the gender roles. I think the men... Like, at the moment, we live in a time where women have gone, well, I want to do this and I want to do this, and men have gone, well, okay, so what am I for? And so it means that the men don't have any reason to do anything. So they're basically just being tax funnels to go to the women so that they can pretend they're something they're not. But it's only in a war do women go, well, I don't want to go fight a war. I'll clean for you, and then everything gets reset.
And when they actually have to fight a war, no. Which is kind of funny, because maybe we'll get to one of the topics. It's been almost 2 hours. So, gender-balanced hiring in women-led projects dip among the top 100 movies. This is not progress. And Reframe, which is apparently some initiative, company, or whatever you want to call it, launched by Sundance Institute and WIOF, formerly known as Women in Film in LA, in partnership with IMDb Pro, is a way to advance gender equity. Has released its
equity and equality are the same thing, despite people trying to pretend they're not.
So the main paragraph here is 26 films of the top 100 received a stamp, a rollback of 4 films from 2024 numbers. Also noteworthy is the dip in representation and other key roles like directors and lead performers. In 2023, there was 20 women and non-binary directors with films in the top 100, followed by 14 in 2024, so it dropped. And then 11 in 2025. Lead performers also saw a rollback of 51 women, including 1 transgender actor, which a half, okay, represented in 2024, followed by 39 in 2025. Ethnic diversity also fell to its lowest number in 8 years, with 7 women of color represented in lead roles for 2025. Now, I wonder why that has happened so naturally after having its peak in 2023, 2024?
This is the entire thing. So this happens everywhere. We're like, well, they choose a goal and they're like, well, we want representation, and then they force the goal, and then if the goal rolls back, they're like, this is a disaster. It's like, no, but you were only faking the goal in the first place. This didn't happen naturally. This isn't something that people wanted. This wasn't profitable. You forced it, and now you're moaning that you're losing. And I think this is exactly... They see advancement towards their agenda as a success. They see going back to the normal capitalist rules of the universe where people care about money as a loss. And it makes them... I think the real issue with this is it makes them feel that they're on the wrong side of history. It means that the majority of people don't want it. But these people only believe this stuff. They convince themselves this stuff because they thought everyone thought this way. They thought they were going to be at the head of a wave that was going to take over and be massively successful, and they were going to lead the world, this new revolution. And now they find out they're alone, they're crap, their entire career has been useless, and
no one wants it. And that's the crazy part, is if, as we've seen in other women who have actually done well for themselves, or whatever, non-binary, I don't even know. This is absolutely merit-based. If it was natural in the sense of, we have women, colored people, don't matter. It doesn't matter. If you are good and can tell a good story and sell tickets, because guess what? That is the metric that they should be using in success, but they do not.
I could have made Marvel so if Marvel wanted to have women leads, I could have made them so much money. All they'd have to do is listen to me and just make them hot. All they had to do is make them all Black Widow, and they would have made fortunes in those movies with people like Black Widow leading those movies. The problem wasn't even the women. The problem was that you did not make the women. It's not what's in the movie. It's who is it there for. So if the main audience of Marvel movies is men, then the women in those movies should only exist for the men. They should only be there to please the men for the pleasure of the men. And that changes things. That changes how they act, how they write, the roles that they do, the kind of costumes that they wear. And at no point, in fact, it was done deliberately to not please the men, to not please their own audience, and so they failed. And so they have now learned that maybe we shouldn't cast women in these movies. You probably should have learned you need to get straight men to make these women roles in your movies if you want to keep them. But one thing this article doesn't do, the article never asks, why would you want any of this? Like, why is gender representation important? Why is ethnic representation important? It's treated as if it's a done deal, that you could never argue against any of these things. And then you come along and go, yeah, but why?
You need to have gender balance, not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera, and do this. By not doing this, it's seen as not progress. Well, why?
Well, yes, but I think I would define progress as evil. So now what? Like, this is the entire point. They act as if progress is just something that people want. Like, no, I want to go backwards, actually. So they're like, this has gone backwards. I'm like, good. That's a great thing. You need to win that argument first. And a load of people will take this argument as if, well, you know, I think we should do this, or maybe women shouldn't, like, maybe we're doing it about profit, or either it's marriage or something. Why is it good in the first place? Like, we haven't even gone past stage one.
When it comes to this movement, whether it's DEI, women, and whatnot, and I was watching the Jillian Michaels versus body positivity, and something that I got from just watching that, and like I've seen it and heard it so many times, is that a lot of the movement, it all comes down to me, my feelings, me.
It's always self-interest.
I hate that so much, because Jillian, she's not inherently evil. Her presence to people is evil to them, because it's like hot, fit woman who's also been, you know, the leading role on The Biggest Loser, and, you know, anti-fat whatever. And so anytime they ever came up with an argument, she would go, now what do you want to do with that? They had nothing to say. And it's really like, it's just so sad that like you have these ideas, you have nothing to back it up, no merit, no nothing. And so why should we give you a voice in that sense?
I think if you're encouraging people to be overweight, you are evil. I think they're not attractive. They're dying. It is awful.
I definitely agree with
to
that.
actually like encourage someone to do that. You are killing them. That is a really bad thing. That is an evil thing. And I think the same for all of it. I think if you are Snape, for instance, if you are encouraging that actor to take the role of a British man, that is just racism. I think you're evil. I am long past all
than anything that he would ever endure.
I don't care about him. I do not give the slightest crap about him in the first place. He never should have been in the role. He shouldn't have accepted the role. They shouldn't have hired him for the role. He never should have been considered for the role. And so any effects that he have are simply the natural conclusion of a role that he decided to take. It's his fault. And so I have no sympathy for him. The problem is that the casting directors have now actively discriminated against British people. That's what I have a problem with. And it's the same with all this stuff. I am told, do you remember a long time ago, was it, I think it was Bob Chapek, but it could have been the other Disney guy, where Elon is sitting in that room and he says, I am fed up of people pretending to be good while doing evil. And that's all you see all the time. And that's all this is a lot of people virtue signaling about who can be the most evil person at all times. And I get that with all of it. It's all about, it's done as representation. Yes, but if you hire this person, you're actively discriminating against this person. And I don't care about the person that doesn't deserve to be there. I care about the one you're replacing, the one that should have been there from the start.
The merit that comes with it. And it's like this trickle-down effect, because you're now, and I as much as people love to make fun of me, when Trudeau because I voted for him. When Trudeau said he wanted
Oh,
to
yeah,
do,
you were like, he's cute, I'll vote for him.
I mean, I was doing it in jest, but anyways, so when he said he wanted to have a cabinet, which is like, you know, a lot of the head of
50% women,
governments,
yeah.
50% women, I actually was disgusted by it because it's like, but why were there not 50% women based on merit? So are you just putting someone there that's
then
just not as good? Like,
It-
no.
The simple truth is if you want to go off merit for anything, there will be more men than women. This is just a fact. Because if you are talking about the peak of any industry, male variability
Unless you're in
hypothesis.
medical.
Well, no, male variability hypothesis, men are more varied. There are more geniuses, there are more idiots. But it does mean that when you look at the peak of anything, there are always more men. And we don't just mean 60, 70, but we are talking nearly all men. Because while women do have variability, they nearly always go around the average. And so the edges of what you're talking about are very, very slim. And that means that you will find very few women in any profession who can compete with those men. They do exist, but they will be in a vast minority. And this is just an unfortunate thing about the world, and it's one thing that society can't ask themselves. They will come up with all their plans for what they want to be an equal universe, but they'll never ask, what if it's true? Like, what if all of your ideas about what's horrific and you can't talk about, what if they're just true? And it destroys their entire worldview, so they'll never even think about it.
And going back to at least like the Jillian Michaels thing, they don't want their worldview shattered because as soon as you do, it's like, well, I have no excuse for anything else. So why and how am I having these opinions now? And that's where we see the doubling down and the anger and the yelling. And it's one of the saddest things because then we have like people who love like, I actually cannot believe this. I saw a tweet about Starfleet Academy Season 3 renewal. There was 10,000 signatures.
Oh, yeah, it's gone up.
Impressed they got 10,000 signatures. Did you sign up, Disbrew?
I didn't, but I didn't think it'd get to 10k, to be honest. I think there's more people than probably watch the show. I think a lot of those will probably be bots and things, to be honest.
Most likely, but you never know. And I don't want to assume because I've not actually looked at it. But I wanted just to come back just to, as much as it's painful to watch, I think it was funnier seeing like chat be like, shut up, we don't want to hear about this.
Look, I get told all the time, people are like, you just want it to fail and be cancelled. It's like, no, you're talking to the wrong person.
No,
I would love a season 2 of things.
The #1 She-Hulk fan.
Exactly. I think I've genuinely bought more She-Hulk merch than anyone else on the planet. I don't think anyone else has got like as many t-shirts about it as me. But this is the entire point. It is, look, it's very mentally stressful if you have built, because the way people's knowledge and worldview works is you start with a few fundamental foundations. One of the key ones is hierarchy versus equality, and then you build on top of them all your other ideas. And so if anyone challenges all your foundations, you can't do it because your entire life is built on these things. And so to knock that out destroys everything. And so it comes across as a personal attack. It's incredibly psychologically stressful. And because you get stressed, it feels like a personal attack and you attack back. This is why they're so wedded to it. They cannot handle anything. They will literally go down with the ship rather than ever consider that their entire life view could be wrong. And also, if you accept it, if you are accepting that you're evil, most people will never accept that. And so they have to double down.
Yeah, because they'll never be evil if you double down. If you back down, that's when,
Imagine pushing DEI and thinking that racism is the worst thing in the world, and then finding out that you've been doing it all along. Like, you've been going against your own morality your entire life. Like, I can understand why people don't want to accept it.
It is world shattering. And I think that's the thing that I like to do when I, try to take a step back. I don't do that all the time, but I try to, reflect and think, was that a good opinion? How would people think this? How would I think this? Now, have I thought every little, and I say nuance, meaning did I get the full context to make this assumption? Because that's something that, like, I'll and I hate this about Twitter and AI. Was that cute cat video really a cute cat video?
Was he
No, it
really
was
playing
AI.
that trombone outside somebody's house?
The worst, because I want it to be real, but it's most likely not.
I've always wanted the cat to play the trombone and then
I
come back with a
know.
guitar and then wake her up next door and she came out with a rocket launcher and tried to blow him up this time.
Okay, now we're getting a little crazy here.
It's like, yeah, I don't know whether it's real. I can't tell. I see a lot of my granddad sent this to me and asked if it was true. And it's just like the most bizarre crap you've ever seen.
And I don't want to have to question if something is real, but unfortunately, we're in a world where people make fake crap, and then we have to make our own opinion. But with just like the news on, the media, research your own thing, make your own opinion. I don't think that any person's opinion should be gospel. And be your own human being, just like it is with these movies. Okay, don't let someone guide you 100% on your opinion of where you should put your money, where your energy, time, all that. I think that having a good perspective is just a lot of research. And unfortunately, we're now having to do more research than ever.
That's why I've always said, like with the movies, go and watch them. I don't care. You can watch my review, you can go watch the movie. As far as I'm concerned, I think if you watch a movie, you'll just come away agreeing with me. So I don't care if you go and watch the movie. People are always like, you're just trying to indoctrinate people so they don't watch it. It's like, no. I want you to go and see it because I think you'll trust me more next time. That's my view on all of it.
Yeah. Okay. Conversation with Disprey that happened off cam was when he went into this world. Disprey was saying, or told me, everything I say in these videos, live streams, all that is stuff I've thought about as I'm doing my daily routine, whether it's work, walking around, cleaning, blah, 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 blah. It's stuff I would have said, but it's just now.
Don't say cleaning. We don't want to make this too unrealistic.
Oh my God.
I think I made a tweet once. It's like, thank you for allowing me to do a job of just things I talk about. I think about walking down the street. That's when I do most of my thinking is just walking somewhere. Yeah,
and you told me, like, especially with like, when you have time to think, like, and you're listening to streams, you're like, oh, I that, but I don't agree with that.
I watch streams and I pause them and say out loud my response to the thing that's just been said.
Exactly how your reviews go, anyways.
Exactly the same. Yeah, I just turn on a camera and do what I would do anyway. Like, I argue with stuff because that's the way I think it's like. Because if someone makes a point and you disagree with it, the only way you can actually come up with your own point is if you actually think it through. And for me, verbalizing it helps me put my thoughts into it. This is why sometimes I'll be on a stream and I'll say something I haven't it's the first time I've ever thought of that point, but then I might make a video on it later once I've organized things. And so stopping a stream and saying it out loud helps me organize what I would think as a response to it.
And that's why, like, when people are like, oh, you want to start a channel, all that, go ahead, do it, because Disbrew, he worked so hard for I don't know how long until you caught the algorithm, the live streams and all that. I remember when you went from under 50 subs.
It was the superfans. The Lord of the Rings superfans video is what did it, and that's what kicked everything off.
Crazy where you've come
And the
from.
thing is, that the start, everyone was interested in the start. I only put the start in because I wanted to talk about something at the end. I'm like, it's going to be like a really 4-minute video or something. So I went off hunting for something else just to add as an intro, like some kind of hook. But that was never meant to be the main part of the video. But that's what everyone else liked. So it's like, well, you can never judge.
Yeah, so you never know where you're gonna end up. That's why I think if you have a voice, you want to talk about things, go ahead. Just know, what is it? 90 to 95% of channels don't catch the algorithm or whatever the content and editing and all that matters, unfortunately. And then you just get better at it with time.
Well, this is why people say start as a hobby, but when people say start as a hobby, there is like a cadence. There's an amount of videos that you may have to make, and each video is like another lottery ticket that may go more this time. And so if you make like a video a year, it's infinitely harder to be as successful than if you can make multiple videos a week, or at least a video a week.
Yeah.
And the algorithm kind of learns your cadence. So like Gary makes a video a week and it's fine. If I made a video a week, my channel would die. Each one gets their own kind of algo.
And if you have tits, it's that much easier.
It is. It's like I've been trying to eat as much soy as possible. They've still not come out yet, but I'm hoping.
The disputits aren't there.
Yeah. I've been trying, folks. I've been giving it my best shot.
Andrew Matthews for 2 says, Disbrew, look up Valentina Vasiliev children.
Oh, God.
While you're doing that, thank you,
Valentina.
Arudai, for being a member. Cheers. Thank you, Arudai. And while you're still looking, Arudai for the 5 says, speaking of genuinely attractive, I'm here. Hello, X-Ray and Disbrew. We're talking to the genuinely attractive people here.
It is. I've got like beginner tits.
A cups.
Oh no, this is the Russian woman which has the world record for the amount of babies. Yeah, said to have. Oh no, must be the father. I only know. Oh no, first wife. Yeah, who? Because it said fathered, and I'm like, a woman can't father. That's what got me confused. So she had 87 children in her life. Yeah, she's in the Guinness World Book of Records. I did know her story before. So
wait, does she have twins, triplets, or anything like that?
She had 16 pairs of twins, 7 pairs of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets.
Are they royalty?
Can you imagine her genetics? She was in the Guinness World Book of Records. No, I think she was just a normal woman. But she first gave birth in 1725, so this is a long time ago.
Why?
She gave birth in
her vagina?
27 confinements. Yeah, for the last 6 months, the baby would have been like bungee jumping. It would have been just like holding itself on the sides of the walls.
Yeah.
Like, oh, come out here.
What was she more? Did she spend more time pregnant than not pregnant? Oh my God.
27 confinements. So that would be 27 years of her life ish, 9 months. But you're probably looking at
her tits had more milk in them than no milk.
Well, this is the kind of job like she actually. The wet nurse used to be a legitimate job for people, so she would have been perfect for it if she's pregnant that long. Just
she
always
had her own
pumping
children
out.
to feed. She's not.
Well, that's true, yeah. But I don't know how long people need to be breastfed for. She could fill in the gaps, keep it going.
If it was, today's standards, up to 2 years, but if it's Game of Thrones standards, like 6-7 years at least. At least. That's insane. Yes, Michael Doberman, baby maxing.
Oh my God, you need to see this. The only question I have is how.
What?
Look at the picture. That almost looks like a moustache. Who slung it up that 27 times? That could be like a vampire. And you'd just be like, it makes sense.
I mean, okay, we're catching her in the latest of her life, okay?
I know, but still.
So let's see a picture of her in her youth. Okay, this
it's 1725.
This is the Princess Anis El Dola, who had 13 men commit suicide because she rejected them. Are you ready for this, Disbrew?
She probably got him. Can you imagine the nagging?
This is the princess.
Oh, no. Yeah. I imagine this is more... firstly, pretty sure that's a bloke. But secondly, I think that's one of them. They said no, and she's like, off with his head. I think it's one of them. I don't think they did it voluntarily, put it that way.
Who knows? Because look at the dad. Princess with a mustache, 13 men committed suicide because she...
Yeah, I think that's a bloke. Although, I was once this is going back a long way, couple of decades. I was walking through Birmingham, and this woman did put past me with a full-on mustache, and
No.
I don't mean like a little bit of stubble. I mean a full-on like
more than
massive
this?
mustache. More than that, yeah. I mean like a big bushy mustache. It was so
God.
much. I walked backwards so I could walk past and see it again just to make sure I'd seen it for real. I was amazed. So it does happen.
You never know. Apparently, this woman was considered a beauty.
Yeah,
She
it
was
was
rich.
It was probably just like, if you think I'm your Looksmaxx, that looks match, then it's over for me. That's probably what it was.
Even though she was not charming at all, her family was wealthy and she was blonde.
Hey, I mean, play to your strengths. I have no problem with a rich person trying to get the best person they can. It's like, look, you will never work again. That's going to work. That's a very good message. You can be a kept man. All you have to do is game for the rest of your life. You know? Because think of it as this way. It's like, it's like 3 minutes work a day, 6 minutes at most, and you can just play games for the rest of the day. You'd have to consider it.
Okay, so this is the man she chose at the end, Persian King Nasser al-Din Shah Qajar. He ruled over Iran for 47 years, and he ruled over his wives, 84 wives to precise.
See, now that also makes sense. He's like, look, she's rich, and I get to get with these 83 others at the same time. Also, I can mix and match, so I never need to be with her on my own. I could always look at somebody else while it's happening. I think that makes sense from his point of view.
I love that they put this, his beloved wife, but they don't have a picture to go.
I would never hold a sword in that position if I was him. You don't know what you're about to cut off. If you scroll back up one.
This is a disturbing picture.
Yeah, it looks like he's in like shorts and long socks.
Isn't interesting? This is like
that is weird.
This is the Alabama of the Middle East. Sorry.
No, we were at a meetup once, and over here, Norfolk is the inbred area that's used as like for jokes, and so there was like a queue of people I was talking to the first one, and I brought that up that it's Norfolk, and I went, it's weird how every country has that. So I've heard over here it's Alabama, and this woman starts pissing herself like 3 people up the line who was listening in. And she went, no, my boyfriend's from Alabama. It's true, it really is. And I'm like dying. I am dying laughing at the time. It's like, sorry, I didn't mean this as a personal attack to your boyfriend. But I think she found it funnier than I did.
I love it. All right, we got a question here. Eliani. For 5 says, Disper, have you seen Singles Inferno? It's a Korean dating show that has lots of twists and surprises. Highly recommend.
No, dating shows I have, it depends. They'd have to be like weird, like MILF Manor kind of levels of weird. It does a 5 series.
Eliani, I'm gonna have to check it out because I do like dating shows. When it comes to watching
I think you'd like it.
Subtitles. Well, the thing is, I like to watch something that's worth it, and I find when I watch subtitles, it's more intellectually stimulating. Now, this has come from someone who's watched My Hero Academia, which is not the most intellectually stimulating, but
I've just finished it.
So, me too. I loved it. Bakugo, I never think I would love Bakugo, but they did such a good job.
I thought it peaked where I said it was last week. At the Hero Killer, that was my favorite fight and everything. And it felt like it all led up to that. And then after that, it's never really done much. There's been like a few games and stuff, but it was the Hero Killer that I really liked.
Jujutsu Kaisen did it better with the fights, I believe, because up to the Hero Killer, that was like probably the most like, because it had nuance to it. Because he was like, you have to be a good hero, and I'll let you free. And then when he fished out when heroes wanted to just have fame and fortune, whatever it was, and someone who you thought was like a good person, and then he fished out that, oh, you know what? Your motivations are not of actual heroicness. Wait, what?
But for Jujutsu Kaisen, I think season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen is like perfect television. I don't think they're going to beat that in anything. Yeah.
The start of 3 has been confusing because they really should not have done the game's rules episode. I think it did them more disservice.
If you watch season 1, then 2, then go into it, it makes sense. The issue is if you watch it with the big gap and you've forgotten the rules, you're just confused. That's where I was, which is why I went back and rewatched it, and then the ad episode, I'm like, no, I get this. And so it's much better when you understand what they're actually talking about, rather than trying to follow it.
Yeah,
it's because you have the rules explained to you in season 1 and 2, and so when you get into that, they're explained, and you understand all the terminology, and it's just like second nature to you. And so it was a bit like Devil's Plan. You grasp it all. But when they're using words that I didn't get, and I'm trying to remember from previous things, it just seemed awkward.
So you rewatched?
Yes, if you watch it immediately after 2, it makes a lot more sense, which I think is how it's designed, really.
2 was my favorite season because at least in the Shibuya Square with the like the train station and the fights that thereafter
Train
came.
station's awesome.
Oh, those fights were just insane. Like every episode, I remember like saying with like the friend group that I was watching with, I'm like, I don't think they can top this. Next week happens. They topped it. I'm like, what is happening? So
and they were not
season
afraid
2.
to kill people, but every single death felt like earned. There was a reason for it. It then led on to something else with another character. And so it was all like perfectly paced.
Yeah, no, I really, maybe I should just do a rewatch. Because even like, okay, so I just caught up in watching this week's episode and the fight between
I've not watched because I'm watching it as it gets up to dubbed, not the subtitles.
Oh, okay. The guy with Rika, I love him so much.
The names I'm terrible with the names.
Rika is
there was literally a guy in season 2. I know him as the guy with the wrapped butcher cleaver. It's like I still don't know his name.
Rika is the cursed spirit of. It was a young girl who died. And this was the movie.
Yeah, I've seen the movie and
okay, so that I love the dynamic that they have. As weird as it is one of the coolest things. And just seeing where
I loved her introduction where she's in the classroom, the kid walking, and they just sense that he's cursed, and they all got a crowd around him, and you've got like the guy who was the equivalent of just like he's the godlike kind of character. He's just massively OP, and he's like, you may want to step back a second, and they just next cuts to them all being battered to hell.
He literally got the card of like class A or whatever major. I forgot the word terminology for it, but that he is on his own even without Rika.
Yeah, but he wasn't in the movie. That started it.
It's
the start of season
like,
3. You get to see his own
You
power.
will see season 3, his progression, his fight. It's such a good fight, and it's like I'm trying not to spoil things. It's like fighting 2 fights at the same time, but like having to be strong. Anyways,
Well, go back to the super chat. Singles Inferno does have an English dub, and the description of the concept is takes the idea of survival shows and mixes it with the idea of fighting for their intended love. So I think it will be like your challenge stuff that you like.
It sounds like I would probably like it.
Yeah, mixed with like Bachelorette. So
I will watch it. Cheers. Thank you. Eliani for the recommendation. John Thomas for 5 says some woman was arrested for false imprisonment for tricking an ex to an escape room to solve accountability puzzles.
I mean, I'm assuming this is just a joke about women not accepting accountability, to be honest. That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe.
Rather than the actual story. It's like, no, she makes him take accountability for it.
Utter confusing. Yes. Women. Okay. I think a lot of women are so delusional in their thinking, in the sense of like, something happens and it's crazy that I've seen this, and then they create a narrative in their head. And this is, you know what a great version of this is? The Blake Lively trial. She literally created a version in her head that she thinks is so true. That's like, oh, he blah 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 blah. He hates me, blah blah blah, and he's so weird, and he hits on me, blah blah. Really?
I think it's an evolved thing, because previously, if women were held accountable for something and it was that severe, then they would lose status in the tribe and possibly get like kicked out, and then they would die.
And here
so
we are.
Women are far more concerned with social status, maintaining it, because that's what kept them alive. And so they're used to the social game among all the other people, which is why they care more about what other people think of them compared to men. It's just say something, if you don't like me, that's it. It all makes sense that way, but you also combine it with like the moral foundation theory that your morals you don't think of. You do an action, and then you retroactively come up with your logical reason why you did it afterwards, and it's probably it.
Yes.
So the woman's instinct is literally, I can't get blamed for this, I might die. That's like the lizard brain. And then your higher functions rewrite history to make you the person not in the wrong afterwards. And then...
Absolutely. And here we are.
It's one of those things where I don't think it's particularly right to judge people just for like an evolved instinct, but at the same time, society doesn't want to learn from this. It's like, maybe there are things that we should do based on this information.
and that's the thing is, like, when it comes to like very detrimental consequences based on a lie that you said, like for example, we're talking about like the graping. Like, if you accuse someone of grape and they go away for jail, like years, or even before jail, like having to deal with the consequences of that, whether it's like the trial and having your name smeared and whatnot, and you have no repercussions for that, I have issue with that, because why lie?
Well, one of the main reasons why that is done is because they want to be seen as a slag. So it comes out that they got with the guy and they just said he forced himself on me, because then they're the victim, then they don't have any negative social outcome, and so they lie for it. And the other guy is just like, well, I don't particularly care about him because he's not me. Now, again, there's like different things, but this is one of the issues. Society's scariest moment is, what if people are different? Like, what if equality isn't true? And so we're not allowed to talk about any things that every single person knows is true just from their own life. And that's what causes the problem. It's the inability to talk about this as if it is true causes the issues.
Yeah. So we'll see. And risk it. I know you said guilty until proven innocent scenario. And I hate this for the people who actually have been raped. Now it's innocent till proven guilty, and you just don't want to believe a woman just because other women who are extreme liars have ruined it for the people who actually have gone through the actual issues.
Well, the thing is, the court system doesn't need to believe you. You go to the police, then you go to court, and evidence is presented, and then people decide. None of that requires belief. It just requires factual reality and things that happen in evidence and proof. So nobody actually requires you. And if you go to the police, they're not going to not believe you. They want to see the evidence. It's their job to find the evidence. The issue I have with people that don't go to the police, they go to Twitter. And if that ever happens, I don't believe you. I don't know. Like, if you the minimum I require is you go through the formal system which is made to find the truth. Now, I also think that the name should be kept private on both ends, so that if it is innocent, no the person is harmed. I think this idea that the accuser is remained, I don't know what the foreign countries, but in England the accuser is remained anonymous, but the man has his name broadcast across the press, and so even if he's found innocent, his life is ruined anyway. I think that's wrong.
Just based on that, yeah. I understand that, which is not cool, because what if he is proven innocent and then you have to deal with the social repercussions?
Obviously, if he's proven guilty, throw the book at him. But all I require is a guilty verdict. That's it.
But if they are a liar and false accused, then his life is ruined just based on that.
Yeah. It's there's loads of stuff has happened. Loads of people have got cancelled from social media and stuff for things that never went to court. And they were never intended to go to court.
Yeah. They just wanted to have a social win. Unfortunately, they did win, even if it wasn't true. So, guilty until proven innocent, apparently, on the world of Twitter. Psychotic mongoose for £2 X-ray story time is the best story time, or the worst. I don't know.
There I was, and he went, wee.
And there I was, putting a tube up his butt. And in my mind, okay.
Then I flipped him over, and just as I started to like wax him.
One of my favorite things to remember when doing an enema is don't stand in the spray zone.
Yeah.
And I say this with love because this has happened to a colleague of mine.
Oh. But they should have known better.
Oh my God. They were not wearing a gown or a face shield.
But it doesn't matter because the hospital gown's open at the back. The most horrific thing in hospitals.
You're standing facing the spray zone if you are doing it correctly. But you don't want to even be near the spray zone.
Oh no. I'm assuming the spray zone has a wall at the back, and this stuff can ricochet.
Yeah, and I feel so bad for my colleague slash peer, really, because
They should have known. What you need is like, you know, as at train stations have like, those yellow lines, do not cross this point. You need those.
Yeah,
The warning guidelines.
Like, if I were to explain, like, this is basically, like, this is the patient, right? So instead of being here, because this is where my peer was, you have to stand here and insert this way. So you have to be, like, literally kind of behind them above their butt. Anyways, that was a learning lesson.
Yeah.
I've never stayed in this place.
It's a learning experience, not just for the person who got sprayed, but for everyone who saw them get sprayed. They will never make that mistake.
Anyways, sorry. Stories. Market Reality, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships to the channel. Thank you for the potatoes in the chat, and I'm so sorry I told you about my story.
I like you told that story of your own free will without any prompting. It was just X-Ray Girl story time. You're like, well, I've got some more actually.
I do. I have a ton of stories, and those are just some of them. I did the Webster for 2 Australian. Well, I have the muscles. I wish I had the context.
I think that was from like hammering your face, and I said most people just go and work out and they don't care about the face.
Okay. Yes, so for 50 British pounds. Men have always been there for women, but women wanted to spend a spell pretending they wanted gay stuff. Wait, what? This must be some Scottish British terminology. Wanted to spend a spell pretending they wanted gay stuff.
Well, spend a spell means if you spend a spell doing something, it means you've spent some time doing something. So that's not complicated. I think it means that throughout, because this is true, right? There's also an issue that women have that society thinks less of men wasting their life, but it's because men, you can just keep men around, and if there's a war, they use them. So they're always like instantly usable, and you can turn them into like a war machine all the time. So a man can't actually waste his time. Whereas there is shame for women not fulfilling their role because you need them to, otherwise society dies. So you can't, a woman wasting time is far worse than a man wasting time. So men have always been there to do their job, and they've always done it. Whereas women women wanted to become men sometime, and I think they thought that men just had the better end of the stick. And it's like, no, actually, working isn't nice. Men don't work because they enjoy it. Men work because they have to. And women were like, we want to work. It's like, why, though? Why? I actually knew someone from UAE. Well, I knew someone for UAE when they were going through the whole change to, like, women are allowed to drive their own cars now. And he was legitimately like, I don't know why they want it. They get chauffeur-driven wherever they want to go, at any time they want to go, and they don't have to do any work. And now they want to get on the road? Are they insane? It's like lowering their standard of life. And it just, seeing like early like Victorian times to now coming through in a different country, like, I don't know why these people want to do this stuff. It's worse for them. It's kind of wild. No, okay, so I'll at least defend the drivers, because I do think that, like, if your husband, baby daddy, whoever in your life is at work and you have an emergency with a kid, I think having access to the car would be good for that, just in general. You are assuming that you live in a country which is safe, and the only reason it's safe is because men make it safe for you. If you were in other times throughout history, like even medieval times and stuff, it would not be safe for a woman to go around traveling the country on her own. And women used to understand that. And that's why, but that's why well, no, that's why these rules existed throughout all of time. People are like, I like my independence. You were never meant to be independent. Like, you were never evolved to be independent. You were always there, so the man would always be there to take you somewhere. And so I get it that way. And I think, I think especially in Europe, things should probably return to be that way, because
I need
it's
someone
safer
to
for everyone
take care
involved.
of me. I don't need independence. Take care of me. That's all I ask. Me and my old eggs, okay?
I still do think there's an argument, like, women like, I want freedom for my husband. It's like, I'm going to do what my boss tells me. It's a very strange switch.
That meme is hilarious. Now, so this is the context of Ian's super chat, which I'll remind you said, men have always been there for women, but women wanted to spend gay stuff pretending they wanted gay stuff. Oh, wait, was this no, this is the muscles thing, which I don't have highlighted anymore. It was the context of when X-Ray Girl said, Cliff, you need to find a guy with a small package and learn large muscles.
Yeah.
I'm so
said,
sorry.
You just need someone with chemicals.
Yes.
As everyone knows, that shrinks places.
As I've said, if I ever went to jail, I'd be someone's bitch so quickly because I don't want to fight my own battles. I'm a pussy.
Women's prisons are very different, actually. So men's prisons are more like individual things like that, but women's prisons tend to have like a head dog. It's one woman that rules everything, and she makes sure that all the stuff doesn't happen. So
I'm so excited to not have to be a lesbian then.
I actually, there was a couple of, I can't remember the shows. Bad Girls was the UK show, and then there was Wentworth. I actually really like those shows. I think when people were like, now would be like, Wentworth is really woke. It's like, yeah, but it had hot lesbians in it.
Orange is the New Black didn't really have hot lesbians in it.
I didn't like it because that's an American one. The ones I said, the first one was English, the second one was Australian. You get to Orange is the New Black and the American prison system, and then, yeah.
Yeah. No, Orange, I think Orange was good in the first, like, maybe 2 seasons, and then it kind of went off the deep end for me. Because it was like, oh, this new idea, this is cool, because we never really looked into this, and then, ugh. Oh, well. Oh, well. Eliani, for 5 says, these are the kind of people who freak out about women voting to play a cooking game. It proves their social engineering doesn't work.
I don't know whether you... yeah, Overcooked for Twitch, and then it turned out the women voted for it themselves. It was like, okay.
Absolutely. Mr. Shenanigans for $4.99. I don't always tell Titanic jokes, but when I do, it's to break the ice. Cheers to you.
He shenaned once, he's gonna shenan again.
And then Titanic sinks. Cranberry for 2 says women go for some industries more though. Yes, nursing, X-ray tech. There's a lot of like health industries that are female predominantly.
Women
Teaching,
go for things involving people.
Nurturing.
This is one of the reasons why men get paid more. It is because men go for things involving things, and so things can scale. And so because things scale, you get paid more because you can do your job once and it goes across loads of people. Whereas if you care about people, it doesn't really scale. You can only look after so many people in a day, and so your wages just get capped far lower.
Yeah.
But even in that, you notice how she said teaching, not doctors. I bet doctors are more male than female.
I think it depends on which. I do think there is a slight.
And I mean pre-DEI,
reversal.
not modern times.
I was saying modern times. There's more female doctors, but I could be very wrong.
I've seen the hiring rates. Admittedly, American hiring rates of different groups and how they pass the medical exam and stuff, and so DEI is massively impacted.
That I cannot comment on because I have no idea, but I do think that from my general knowledge that there are more female doctors than male doctors graduating.
Yeah, maybe now.
Don't know.
What about 30 years ago?
Well, definitely not 30 years ago.
Pre-DEI.
But definitely not 30 years ago. But I think the other thing is like, I would assume that men are looking at like what jobs are easier. Cost, worth, and effort. And I don't know if medical doctor is worth the effort, in my opinion. Because you could do other jobs that aren't as tiring. Because being in medicine, at least in a hospital setting, if you're not a family doctor, you're going to be working nights. Some crazy shifts. Is it worth it? I don't know.
Depends how much you get paid. I think for a lot of guys it is just like I wish in school I'd just been given a list of jobs with their wages attached.
Yeah,
I would have just gone for whatever at the top.
I would be an engineer. Like I think engineers make a crazy amount of money.
The one thing I was never told in school is what people got paid, and because this was like pre-internet, I didn't have the internet at home. I would have made entirely different decisions. Yeah.
So, like I said, I think there's more female doctors for those reasons. Well, hey. I could be wrong. Shark Dentures for 5 says, you don't have time to imagine her genetics. Odds are you'll be meeting them soon enough. If you're lucky.
Whose genetics am I imagining?
Is this a sex thing? I'm so sorry because I'm slow.
I remember talking about genetics a long time ago. But the thing about genetics is, you don't have to imagine genetics. You see people's genetics on their face. And actually, the more you look into attraction, it's so weird. Like, why do women put rouge on their cheeks? It's because when they're fertile, they flush. Like, all makeup is just trying to imitate fertility signals. Until, of course, RuPaul's Drag Race, and then everything's up for. I think everything got worse after that moment when women decided, oh no, I can change my entire face. But yeah, no, your genetics show and everything. And like I say, the genetics was in smell of sweat and things, which is why women have been on the pill when they met a guy, and then they come off the pill when they're married to have babies, and they no longer like how he smells.
It is one of the wildest things, but that's something I've heard a lot of women talk about.
It's not even controversial. It's like so well known about people. It's just that only now is it coming through because so many women have been on the pill for so long, and then when they start saying it, no one believes them. So you need like a huge bank of people for
meta-analysis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna feel very awkward saying this. Chad Thomas for $4.99 says, "Hello, my dim sum bun."
It's just food. It's fine.
Yes. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to laugh at you. Like I don't feel comfortable being called dim sum bun.
It's just food. It'd be the same if he called you his little croissant.
Make your screen bigger and tell the dude to turn off his camera.
I agree.
And here we go.
I should be in the little sidebar. I could just join in from the sidelines. We'll get more viewers. I can be like a little hand signal person. I'll do the sign language. I've always hated this. Like, I hate sign language on a bit because I always feel like there's someone trapped in a TV and they're just like, hello, save me. And I hate this. It's like, no, help me. I'm stuck in it.
I'm gonna change
like smacking
my name
on the screen.
To dim sum bun.
Dim sum bun. Hello, my little dim sum bun.
Thank you, Chad, for that. There we go. Dim sum bun.
You're going to forget that and join another stream with that. Be like, what do you mean?
Forbidden Frontier will be very funny.
Yeah, they're like, wait.
SCDB, thank you for the 5. In honor of season 2's best fights, Disbrew, what kind of girl is your type? Answer chat and we'll decide whether to Minecraft you or not. All right, what's your girl type, Dispy?
Petite with tits.
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah? Sydney Sweeney is like I say, the amazing thing about Sydney Sweeney is no one knows what she looks like. They could cross her in anything, but that is I don't think that's anything unusual. I actually think that's the default until society started changing people's perceptions about stuff, and now they're like, no, you should like this. You really should like these people because these people aren't like you. I think that's the thing. Was it the best fight? I'm thinking about all the different fights. I actually really liked some of the water fights and stuff, because you've got the guy with like the wrapped axe and stuff, and he's like completely lost it, and he's just wandering through this nice little areas. People are dying on the other side of things.
Which season 2 talk are you talking about?
Well, because of this, it's Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, okay.
Remember, the guy with the big muscles is the one who always asks everyone what is your type.
Oh my
after
god!
The woman.
What's your type? And then brother.
Yeah.
Oh, and then oh my god. Okay, Disbrew, you're gonna meet a type of person. Desserts. If you meet that, I wish those two had a fight. It would have been so good. It would have been so good.
With this, he obviously means it's the big fight at the end where the guy is just throwing everything at them. He's morphing all these people. There's huge walls of himself that are crushing people. And the guy's clapping all over the place.
He still claps without his hand. And that was
it's
good.
Spiritual. And he just hits his stump.
It was so freaking good.
No, but that's
yes.
That's the kind of moment that it does, because, like, essentially the message of the show is just always keep going no matter what happens. So again, you've got the guy with the axe, and he's been through so much, and he just walks up to these people, and he just keeps on fighting. And it's like done with flashbacks of his thing. He's seeing other people, but he's just taking down all of these others until, like, eventually. But it is. there's so much to like love about that entire season, and it keeps building for everything else. And you see actual people like drained over the course of the season because they've been in other fights, they do more damage, and it all drags on into the next thing. Nobody just like magically resets. There's fights above ground and underground. It's all like planned out with multiple different stages, and that's what I like about a lot of Japanese and Korean stuff. They treat their audience as if they're intelligent. So the Devil's Plan, if you've not seen Devil's Plan season 1, even if you don't like reality TV, it's worth watching if you like intelligent stuff. Because their games take like 20 minutes to explain the rules. And they just trust that both the contestants and the audience can follow along. Now, I've seen Western versions of that. And the games they're giving us like, can you remember these 5 numbers? And can you remember these 6 numbers? Devil's Plan's giving 20-minute instructions of like complex strategy. And that's what you need. You need shows which write for the peak of people, and then just assume that people will rise to the occasion rather than writing for the lowest common denominator. Maybe you don't want the lowest common denominator in your audience. Maybe that's fine. Because you'll get people that actually like the more complicated stuff. And you get that with anime a lot. A lot of anime is based around not giving up, struggle, overcoming things. And like, what's the rest of it got? Like feelings. I've long thought that actually entertainment is you have like ideas and concepts, then you have the events that explores that, then you have the people that explore the events, and then you have the feelings that explore the people. And now we just write for feelings, where you should write for the peak, which is the concepts. And once you do that, the rest just naturally fall in line because your concepts will need an event which need people which need feelings. And that's why people like Starfleet Academy struggled so much, because they were like, we've come up with this base idea, we don't know what else to do. So I actually think it's easier to write better entertainment than crap.
Because you're not jumping through hoops in order to satisfy the check boxes in shows. And like you say that, but like when it comes to some of the stuff that they write, because of the check boxes, it makes it so difficult for them to write good stories, because it's not the story that's the main thing, it's the message. And I find that really sad. Like, so many of Starfleet Academy's episodes were nothing burgers because we had to deal with, oh, this relationship, this sadness, this thing, what we're trying to overcome, blah, 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 blah. I don't care.
Yeah, but the reason you didn't care is because the relationship was done just because it was a relationship. So the people that wrote the show thought that those relationships were interesting. And normally, like I say, you'll have concepts, then events, then people, then feelings. So you would have love feelings, which would interact with because their interaction with the people, but the wedding, like their relationship, would have some kind of interaction with an event. This is the way Star Trek always used to do it. And people wouldn't just get married. The marriage would play into some kind of question or idea, and that's the way that anime does it. It's the way Jujutsu Kaisen does it. Nobody just randomly struggles. The struggle or the backstory plays into what's going on the screen, and it makes the event makes you see the character differently, or their past makes you see the character differently in the event at that current moment. And that's what Western writers don't do anymore, because they think everyone's stupid. They think the audience is as stupid as they are.
Even the idea of, like, I think it's called second watch, where you have to do something and explain something, and then it's like, you just told me that, but because you assume as the writer, the director, editor, and all that, that the person is not watching your show, you have to explain it in 2-3 different ways. And I hate that, because it's treating your audience like you're stupid.
The thing is about that, apparently that was brought up at like an award ceremony or something, and Netflix executives were laughing about it and saying that's not happened. Now, that definitely does happen in Netflix entertainment. If you watch The Rip, there's an entire scene, and it goes on for ages, in this van, where they explain what's just happened in the entire rest of the movie, like 2 or 3 times, to the point where you're like, are you saying this again? And it's so wild, but they're preparing you for the final fight. Then the thing is, I've always wondered, is this something that Netflix tells people to do? Or is this something that people have decided on their own? And it's become kind of like homemade knowledge, like accepted knowledge in entertainment, without anyone actually making it a rule. And from the Netflix laughing at it, I think it's not a rule. It's just something that people think you have to do because it's on streaming.
I wonder, because I remember I saw something. Mr. Porkchop showed me a video about a director talking about second viewing. And
Well, there's been a few things. So the people that made the rip, I can't remember his name, used to be used to be Jason Bourne. He described that Netflix wanted you to recap things and everything. It's definitely something that people have described and talked about. But I am wondering whether it's just become like an old wives' tale that's just everyone just assumes you have to do, rather than Netflix going, we will only give you the money if you do this. I mean, that wasn't what you said you were pulling up, but I think chat will be pleased.
Oh no, I just changed the picture for chat. No, I couldn't find the video, but you know, I thought this would be
that is the next best thing to find. In fact, that's probably a better thing to find, to be honest.
Okay, honestly, if you guys want a good Instagram account to follow, you can follow the Siren account. And honestly, since this is mostly sorry, Wicked, the romantic line, I really love their stuff.
I would be careful how you scroll on this account.
Yeah, before I scroll, I'll see if I can find the romantic line.
That seemed like a scrolling Twitter. That was like this. We are rolling the dice.
If it's on Instagram, should it be on YouTube? I don't know. This. Okay, I don't know if I can show this. Oh, this is awkward. Anyways,
how about this one then?
Oh no.
I asked 100 women which shampoo they preferred, and then underneath it's just like, they all told me to how on earth did you get in here?
That's amazing. That's amazing. You know, this is crazy. I want to show you a line of underwear and they don't have it here. This is actually crazy.
Maybe we should show Brie Larson instead. Because FNT discussed how Brie Larson's attitude has changed. And
this is it.
What is that?
Okay.
Oh.
No, we're gonna talk Brie Larson. Sorry. Because also.
No, I was just surprised there wasn't a person in the bikini. I was like, that defeats the object. Surely. Now we're just looking at cloth.
So I actually was shocked about this, and maybe this is, I don't know if this is the trend, following the trend, or if this is actually her.
I think this is Nintendo. I think Nintendo were like, no, we like gender roles, we like dresses, we like cute women, and so she's like feminized up during the marketing.
But I'm okay with this marketing because even if she's not a true gamer, whatever, promoting gaming.
But the thing is, in a lot of videos, she is unrecognizable because she is that feminine in it, which she normally isn't.
I agree. I could not imagine her wearing this.
She's always been wearing dresses. She's been on the red carpet in long dresses. There was one thing where she had like her hair this way, covered her face, and she looked like an entirely different person. It's been kind of wild to see.
All right, let's see what Brie has to say.
I think I'm starting to understand, because in the last year I realized that being forward with the fact that I've played video games my whole life and I love video games, and like the gaming community is much bigger than the film and television world.
Yep.
And it's this bizarre thing that now that I've started talking about it more and reaching out and even talking with video game companies because I find it so inspiring and these are the creators that I love, I'm learning that it's this thing where it's like, people say, what movies did you see? What book are you reading? But not so much do you think to ask, what video game are you playing right now?
Yeah.
And I think we'd be surprised that more people are playing games, and even people that think, oh no, I don't play. And I'm like, but you're playing like a word game with your friends every day.
You're doing Candy Crush.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that it's play.
Yeah.
It's play and it's world building. And there's so much that, you know, video games are taking from cinema. And I think it's really time for us in cinema to recognize what we can take from video games.
I almost think that there's more for cinema to take from video games at this point than it is the other way around. Because guess what? You guys have tapped into the last few movies, like Minecraft is the one that comes to mind. It's like, you know, that is the most successful game. And I also think it's because it captures the young and older audience in like some other video games have not been able to capture in movie adaptations.
Well, a lot of the other video game adaptations were awful as well, and awful deliberately. Things like Max Payne and all that kind of stuff were disasters in movie form.
Yeah, but and this is where it's like, Brie, I don't know if this is like talking points you were given, or if this is actually just like, your own personal thoughts. Regardless, video games are probably the healthiest platform. We're gonna call it platform. Right now.
The thing is as well, there actually haven't been too many games which touch something from movies. The Metal Gear Solid ones definitely did. They were kind of like playable movies. And I'm sure there's some others which inspired it, especially like the early Call of Duties took from war films 100%. It was like playing inside a movie again. But mostly games have been their own medium. The thing is, games are bigger than movies, and I do think that Hollywood is looking for the next thing, like the next genre to adapt. And I wouldn't be surprised if games were it. And I think
Brie
Brie
kind of
might be
because of Minecraft.
Well, yeah, I think that was the signal, and they might be now looking for more game properties to adapt because of it, especially as Mario was successful and everything. But and even if she's been given this, I also think that Brie might be one of these people, because it is one thing that women are good at. They can sense like the changing of the tides, where things are going, and so if they can detect where the future's going and they jump on that bandwagon first, they can ride it and be more successful. And if you think about when Brie got in trouble, she did correctly identify where the audience was, well, not the audience was going, but where Hollywood was going.
It like really quickly.
Well, she was one of the reasons she made such news is because she was one of the first people to come out and say that and be so open with it and stuff. So she took all the flack, whereas later on, loads of people were saying that kind of thing, and they never got half as much flack as she did. So she might be like somebody that notices these kind of trends more, and she's now just adapting to the latest trend where it'll go. And I think she's right with
well,
games.
I absolutely do think she's right. Whether she feels correct about it or actually supports it and whatnot, that's up to her and up to you in terms of feeling that. I think this is pushing some sort of agenda of like, let's look at the more positive aspects of things. I'm not against that. Okay.
No, I don't really care if she's lying. If what she's saying is wholesome, I don't need her to believe it. As long as you are telling people to do something good, I don't need you to believe it. It's better than pushing evil on people, which is what I think they've been doing since.
And like we're getting clips like this. Queen, when you're 18, you'll kick your boyfriend and say you're Super Mario Galaxy was too serious and important.
Like, I would never have recognized that was Brie Larson.
I did not think this was Brie Larson.
No. And this isn't even the one I meant. There was another one. I don't know whether I posted it or not.
This is the other one. Maybe?
There was one with like a hair over one shoulder. Yes, this. I never would have recognized this was Brie Larson in a million years.
Yourself, I would say you are not silly or weird because you play video games all the time. All of the hundreds of thousands of hours you put in to every single Mario game is going to pay off when you're about 36 years old. It seems impossible, but it's possible. I could say something.
There we go.
I think now again, this could just be Nintendo telling her, no, we like feminine women. This is the way you dress. This you would like to just be more feminine and everything because that's what our people like. Be more family friendly, almost like a motherly figure kind of thing. Or she could be trying to change her image, and she's just because wearing dresses, wearing all the stuff, becoming like really feminine. And I think that will do way more for a career than the cow.
A lot of people are supporting her from what I've seen, and whether it's insidious to boost her career or she actually thinks that way, we'll never know. But taking face value, I support Brie. I love Brie. I love cheese.
Yeah, and there was talk on FNT about what kind of movie changed her reaction to the audience, and I actually think it was this movie which changed Brie's initial response. I think this really put her on track to really get the audience back on side.
Where's the son?
Oh, we just need like the McDonald's thing. She's loving it. You don't want the baby involved, Christ.
Either way, I'm happy with this. I think that having Oh my God, this is representation. Having that perspective, that is just kind of like a female perspective, and just having that like support on that. I don't know. I think it's maybe a recognition, a step in the right direction. I have no idea, but just it is one step further into the. Hopefully, media is better than DEI and whatever that can be out there.
Getting actors to change and learn what they should be saying as basic PR is kind of just returning to where they used to be, because they used to give good PR stuff all the time.
Yes.
So this could just be resetting back to that. The issue will be writers. I think writers are the main key, because directors, they just direct the script they're given. I'm not sure how much influence they have on the actual tone of the movie that much. I think it's the script writers which do all the. I mean, you saw the Buffy script. There would be no director or actor that could save that script, and
no,
they're the most.
No, you need a new script for that script.
And I still see people getting cast with no experience. You still see like Stephen Colbert being asked to write a movie.
Oh my God, that Lord of the Rings. By the way, Stephen and his son have never written a movie script ever yet.
So Stephen's son is like a producer. And he asked him to come up with, and he said he came up with a framing device. Now that framing device is, we are getting the original hobbits back to go off and relive their journey, but really they're just talking about what their daughter's doing or something. It's very strange. It sounds like a horrible pitch for an idea as it is.
No, and Stephen basically was like, hire me. He just pitched the idea. And it wasn't like a merit or anything. They didn't reach out to Steven. Steven reached out to them. And I don't know. He's done late night television. What I've seen from him so far is that he has really cheap haha jokes that aren't really that funny. How are you supposed to do a Lord of the Rings script?
This is the issue. He's not a script writer. He hasn't made me laugh. This isn't supposed to be a comedy anyway. So... yes, I think it's well agreed that he knows Lord of the Rings. He is a big fan, genuinely. This isn't something that he fakes, but just because you really like something doesn't mean you have the talent to write it. That's the problem. I don't know whether he is the kind of person that thinks about the ideas, especially as, like you said, he contacted Peter Jackson, but he did so 2 years ago. So this idea has been going around for a long time when he had his job. It feels like the only reason this came out is because he lost his job, and the reason why the reason why it was pitched. Yeah, the reason why it was pitched that he lost his job is because of Trump. So I think, and especially as it was mentioned in the video about hiring him, I think this is like an F you, we're going to do this, and that, whether you intend it to or not, will come through in your work. And that's not Tolkien's ideas. That's not Tolkien's preference. And so I think we are going to leave ourselves out of it, but we want to put Tolkien's ideas into it. This is going to be a message, especially as he is working, as it says, with Philippa Boyens on this. And Philippa Boyens, what was the last thing she did? War of the Rohirrim, which was... yeah, it was renowned as being a feminist journey. Just today, I found a clip of the voice actress for the main character. She got asked, is this a feminist movie? And she said, absolutely it is. It's 100% feminist. Yeah. And so that's what Philippa Boyens is. And on top of that, I don't think Peter Jackson is the same person that he used to be. Stephen Colbert.
He's definitely... I don't trust him. I don't trust him with this. You can be a lover of it, but have the outside view of being like, I've never made a script. I've never done anything like this. I think if he just had a glamour credit, I'd be happier with that.
If he was a consultant on the law, fine. I mean, he seems to know the facts of the things. The issue is, I don't think that people like Steele and Colbert can leave themselves out of it. And I think we saw this with Starfleet Academy. There were loads of people on Twitter and in the show and everything that were kept getting Starfleet wrong. They watch Starfleet and they understand it at their basic level, and they just think it's all of their ideas because they can't comprehend the morality that's actually above them. It's impossible for them. And so they will never understand this level of it. And I think it's the same for like Stephen Colbert and Tolkien. I'm sure he appreciates it on his level. I don't think he can actually understand all the thoughts of it, and he's probably got this really weird leftist interpretation of what he saw, which is basically just the foundation. It's the feelings, the emotions, the individuals. And so I don't think they can write this stuff. This has long been my thing where people are like, no, leftists are the most creative people. I don't think that's true.
Well,
I think
if
unless you have the
that's
masculine
case,
justice-based reality, you can't write.
We could have had a lot of other great movies and TV shows, but apparently the leftists weren't talented in that sense. I don't care what your politics are. Can you write a good show? Can you write a good show that entertains? I don't care what you put your penis into or put in you, I guess, if we're going there.
Yeah, but like I say, the scariest question that one wants to ask is, what if it's true? The scariest question no one to ask when it comes to, I don't care about your politics. Yeah, but what if they matter? What if your politics actually do influence what you write?
In this case, it matters because it seeps into what they do. But if we're looking at, okay, Peter Jackson, obviously, I mean, I don't know his politics, but he apparently people didn't like his politics on FNT. I don't know what his politics are.
Well, he was described as worse than Stephen Colbert, so...
Yeah, and he made some of the most beautiful movies ever, okay?
Yes, but that was...
beloved.
So that was back then, and I think everyone's seen the thing of, like, everyone's standing in the same place, and one side is just running further and further away. That is legitimately what's happened. So the same people that were over here before, so they still believed like men, they thought like men, they still had a justice-based morality, have now run away, and now they believe in equality. And hierarchy and equality do not rank. Tolkien was an entirely exclusive, hierarchical, patriarchal world. And you can't have a world of safety, harm avoidance, and equality cannot create Tolkien's world. But that they've moved, they've changed their morality, and so now I don't think they are capable of doing that. Even with the best will in the world, the best thing that they can make, I think, will inevitably be tainted. They're trying to like imitate things they don't understand anymore. They don't believe in it.
It's like J.K. Rowling, okay? All intents and purposes, she has most of the other politics, makes great books, but still casts Black Snape.
Well, also J.K. Rowling. Didn't everyone say she wrote like later books and they're all crap? So it's her Harry Potter books that people like, not her. I don't know the later ones because I don't know all of her series and stuff. But it was Fantastic Beasts and stuff. I don't think people were as fond of those.
Those were fine. I mean, I didn't mind them. I thought they were entertaining, but definitely.
Yeah, but were they Harry Potter? Yeah.
Does not compare to Harry Potter. Absolutely. But you know, I could probably say the same about what we're gonna see this one day is the Brandon Sanderson. You know, I heard what his newer
many
books
people
were
have
like.
said Brandon Sanderson isn't the same thing as other people. Now, I can understand some people have problems with Brandon Sanderson because they say he writes broken people. It's like, yeah, but I kind of like writing broken people. I'm fine with that. But
Broken people are great because I think inherently a lot of people like an overcoming story.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he builds it into the magic system and stuff. Like for Stormlight Archive, being broken is what gives you magic powers in the first place. So it makes sense. It's not as if he's not self-aware when he's writing into his own system. But yeah, a lot of people have said he's changed. They don't like what is it. No one's sure. But he does have ultimate power. So if it's crap, he has no one but himself to blame. Yeah. My biggest fear at the moment is because he keeps praising James Gunn, and James Gunn has no idea what he's doing. I would have thought he'd have better taste.
Sorry.
And this is a guy who praised Wheel of Time. He did. Now, admittedly, you could argue that it was because he didn't want to piss off people in the industry because he wanted to get his own movies made. It's possible. Maybe that's why he's praising James Gunn. I don't know. But I do think Brandon Sanderson has the talent to write something good. So if it's awful, at
least it's on him.
Yeah. Like I think it's still worth having hope. I will have hope until I see it. I will keep an open mind, which is more than I think most people deserve nowadays.
Yep. SCDB for 5 says in order. Oh wait, I did read this right. Okay, yes I did.
We'll agree whether to Minecraft or not.
Eliani for 5 says Eve didn't take accountability for eating the apple. She blamed the snake for tricking her. So why expect women to start now? LMAO. If she is indeed my great something great grandmother, you know.
Well, everyone's descended from her.
It makes sense.
This is the entire thing about it. Like ancient knowledge about genders has really not changed. We've been the same. It's only now that everyone thinks they're unique special creatures. It's like, no, you can go and read books from 2,000 years ago they will describe women and men exactly the same. You will recognize it.
Yeah. You just stay in your lane and what you know. Don't compare yourself to others. And I think that will make you a happier person in general.
Mm-hmm.
Monkey Hate Clean for 2 says, what's Helen Keller's favorite color? Corduroy.
Oh, that took me a while.
Sorry, I pre-read this, so I already knew my reaction.
No, I had to work it out. It's like I had to work out who she was. Then I'm like, how can she? Oh, okay. No, okay. Needs a different sense, that one, doesn't she?
Your reaction was better than mine.
No, it was... I think the delay made me appreciate it more.
John Wayne, thank you for the 2, says, enema story time while eating tax. I'm so sorry. I'm very, very, very...
Strong stomach.
Very sorry. Well, to be fair, I've literally had conversations while eating lunch talking about, oh my gosh, what did you see in the OR? Blah, 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 blah. We saw this part out. Blah.
Just because you've been immunized against it doesn't mean everyone else in chat has.
Yeah, no one told me that they were disgusted until this moment, so I'm sorry.
How are the chat supposed to tell you?
I don't know. In chat. Let's see. Mr. Shenanigans for $9.99. Extra Girl said something like lesbians. So it made me think, who's the cook in a lesbian relationship? Then I realized there wouldn't be one because they both do. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't finish
that was actually like Jujutsu Kaisen. You know at the start where he punches and then there's a second punch that follows afterwards? That's what it was for me. It's like I understood it and then it just hit me again.
I did not pre-read this. Oh my god. Okay, let me read this in full. Extra Girl said something about lesbians. So it made me think about who's the cook in a lesbian relationship. Then I realized there wouldn't be one because they both eat out.
That's actually really good. At first, I was like, oh, and then I found it funny, so it was a very strange reaction from
That was good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Shenanigans.
Oh, I've just seen debris, and I haven't even read the rest of the tweet, and I'm already dreading it on Super Chat.
The tweet.
Yeah.
Monkey Hate Clean for $5 hairs says, you guys hear about the explosion at the cheese factory? There was debris everywhere because Brie Larson. Funny, right? More so than explained it.
I saw debris and immediately wrote 5 of my own jokes. It's like I wasn't, yeah.
Say one of them. Say one of them. Please say one of them.
No, they were all things about cheese and stuff. It was dismantling buildings and things. They're all in the same kind of vein. It's you can kind of tell where it's gonna go just from the... It was like Bill Bailey. I don't know whether you've ever seen Bill Bailey stand up, but he's amazing. He can play every instrument. So he starts on stage with all these instruments behind him, and he just goes through making jokes about stuff. And one of them, somebody asked him, how do you write your jokes? And he says, well, most people, they start with, they start the front and right forwards. I like to start backwards. I start with a laugh. Now, what could generate that amount of mirth? It's that's the way that I saw that. I saw the punchline first.
That's amazing. I'm thinking about it now. Jesse DB, thank you for the 5, says Hollywood creatives don't get the benefit of the doubt for what they did 20 years ago anymore, Jackson included.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
they're not the same people. We've seen it so many times. Russell T. Davis. No one thought Russell T. Davis would have destroyed Doctor Who, but here we are.
I know. It's so sad.
It's what happens. I think people don't realize that stories and reality are so intrinsically tied together that if you just change, it's gone. Everything you think is good versus evil has changed now. You can't do it. All the stuff that you're no, we need to prioritize these people and these people. It's yeah, but what if those people can't be in a story? What if those people can't be in that role? Everyone wants to think, representation is important. Yeah, but what if representation destroys a story? What then? And they're too scared to ask what if the consequences.
Okay, so I'm looking at just even what we had for today's show. We had Entertainment Weekly, Shatner defending Starfleet Academy against those who deem the show too woke, argues that the groundbreaking interracial kiss of the Saucy show would be dismissed as woke crap in today's political environment. What do you have to say about that, Disparu?
Well, this was actually funny, not because of his original tweets, but because somebody, after he'd done this big, long diatribe like that, they asked him, so have you seen Starfleet Academy? He went, no. So he's defending the show that he hasn't seen, and he actually goes, no, I've not seen it. And the one clip I did see, I laughed at publicly. And so it's all this defense, people were dragging this out. Say, they've got Shatner. You were saying I should leave Star Trek, and now he likes Starfleet Academy. Turns out he'd not even watched the show.
Oh, you need to watch the show to have an opinion. I'm sorry. You can't.
Now, as far as this whole too woke because of an interracial kiss and everything, this is an American thing that means, and there's quite a few things that people bring up as arguments. It's an Americanism. It was never true here, because England went around half the world just shagging various different colonies. So interracial kisses have never been taboo in England. It's never been a case.
I don't think interracial kiss is the problem. It's that, like, why are we raising certain characters, and like the episode about like the marriage, like that was such complete crap. And seeing the way you degrade a person, and what was his name? Not Jaden. What's the other guy? J Ren.
Darren?
I don't know. Sure.
There's Darren, his boyfriend.
Like
the most straight boyfriend in the entire history of the universe.
He was such a simp in that sense. Like, okay, I loved his idea. I need to do my, duty. We are supposed to marry and all this. I thought that was noble. And the fact that the girl was like, you don't actually want me, so you know what? Let's not do this wedding. We'll annul it, and then I'm going to rule over everyone. Wait, what?
I don't know whether I'm writing too much into the series, but I think she was definitely with her female advisor.
Her person, as Jaden and Darren were supposed to be probably together.
Well, yeah. So I saw it actually as her manipulating him. So Jaden went up and he gave a big speech to her about, he'll always sacrifice himself for the greater good. He does all this stuff, and he basically told her how to manipulate him, and then she goes and manipulates him and makes it his fault. So I think she wanted to get with her fancy woman. She wanted him to resign, and somehow convinced him to take it all on as his burden, so that she can then go off to the Lords and tell him anything she wanted and get him to leave. And I think that was all one grand manipulation, and I thought that would have been a good twist. And I don't even know whether I've wrote an entire new story in my head, or that's actually what the show was trying to hint at.
I have no idea, but she's going to be the noble solo queen.
But
which
she's going to be eating out.
Happened before.
She's never going to cook herself.
Yeah. I didn't like the storyline. Like, I think him doing his duty made so much sense. And just leave it at that.
It was actually a good thing. I will sacrifice my life for all these people. And I don't know if anyone else, there was a line where it's like, so I've been talking to those military advisors about them, about how we're going to expunge these people. I'm like, I'm sorry? Are we not going to expand on what you're doing to these people? So, okay, it seems to be a bit of a dodgy planet as it is. But he is actually the actor that I felt sorry for, because when he was on the red carpet, he was going around on the interviews and going, look, we know we're new, we know it's going to be a bit of a shock to you, but please just give us a chance, please just watch us, and then keep an open mind for us and things. And he seems like an actually nice guy.
That's a good way to interview versus, you have to like it.
Oh, no, he seemed like, as an actor, a genuinely nice guy, and I did feel sorry for him in the show, because I think he did his best. There was no saving that show, though. But he was the only actor that I felt was fine.
I think, realistically, he'd probably be the, and maybe even Caleb, like, they would be typical Starfleet actresses.
That was Caleb's first acting job, and I thought he did really well.
I actually think he was a good actor. It's just you had to do what you had to do with the script.
There was no saving. Like, I don't blame the actors for this at all, except the hologram. I don't know why she was there at all. I was just an actress.
Well, they built her, and they even marketed it as that they built her character around her.
And if you watch her interviews, she is exactly the same. They saw her energy and just rewrote the character for it. I think that's why she changed later on, because they're like, we can't keep you like this for multiple seasons. We're gonna have to fix this.
Yeah.
So they reset it back to the original character.
I'm so curious on where they're gonna go for second year, because even if like whatever they experienced in the first year, that is something that the students, in a sense, like should have been protected from.
Yes.
Like if you're like they should never have been in that situation whatsoever. Especially after the not the Kobayashi. What was that training exercise that they did? Miyazaki?
I can't remember the ship name. I think it probably was something like that. Yeah, the one where they were trying to redo the warp engine or something. Yeah.
Yeah, especially after that incident, like they should have been way more protected, and you would want to do that for your students, especially the way how creepy Holly Hunter was with Caleb, like protect him. Okay, you're doing a crappy job at that.
Just let him get away with everything, like no punishment, no controls, no rules.
Oh, Miyazaki, yes.
I just wasn't sure if that was like an anime character. That's why I didn't say for sure.
Yeah. Well, no,
quite easily could have been a Jujutsu Kaisen character.
The one kid died, and they barely spent any time on him.
They did not care. Did not care at all.
Well, no,
like,
didn't care, and then they cared for one episode, and then they didn't care.
Oh no! The episode afterwards, they were upset that they'd gone through it. They never mention him dying. There isn't any kind of pour one out for our friend that died and our teacher that saved our lives so we could get away. None of that. It was just, well, I'm a little bit stressed, and I think we need to go through this show and do this. It was all about the trauma that they'd gone through. They didn't care about the friend at all. And that was a lot of it. It's all internal. None of it's thinking about anything greater than themselves. None of it's self-sacrificial, which is what all Star Trek is all about. That you don't matter. You're part of a ship. So you put all your ego to the side. It's just about what the ship needs you to be. You're essentially a cog in a machine.
Or mankind. And I think that's why Project Hail Mary has felt so good to a lot of us, when it's like the exact line, and forgive me if I'm wrong about that, the needs of the many outweighs the needs of a few. And to have that type of bravery to still do the work that needs to be done to save humanity, that's not something we see a lot in media.
I mean, it used to be every movie. In fact, the actual start of Project Hail Mary it's a standard trope, in fact, that yeah, Earth's in trouble. We need you to go off into space to do it. There's loads of even Korean movies. The sun's dying. We need to reunite the sun. We're running out of water. We need to go to another planet and bring it back to us. It's a very standard thing. But I actually think that good stories are essentially, they are tropes. These are stories we've been trying for thousands of years. We just repackage them. Like man saves damsel in distress.
Oh,
yeah, it's a trope. But you would watch it in a movie tomorrow because it's in nearly every movie. And so I think it's more about repackaging the same.
100 stories retold again and again and again, but yet we still watch it and still love it. And that's the sort of stuff I love. It's like, I like sacrifice for family, friends, new love. Those are three things I think anyone could learn from. Anime is absolutely all those three packaged into the most beautiful, simplistic, and I say this with I say simplistic, but it's not, but they weave it as if it's something so simple, making declarations very loud, very proud, and like you still stand behind them. That's why I love things like Naruto and even Dragon Ball Z and things like power of love, friendship, and anime. Like,
yeah, but
I think that's something we can get behind.
The issue now is that all the things that people like in stories are concepts, but they've been brought down to the level of the writer. And the writer wants to put themselves into the work because the only thing they can comprehend, and they're not nice people. They're in fact horrible people. Yeah. And maybe that's what it takes to survive in Hollywood now, that you have to be some kind of egotistical, you have to climb the slippery pole and stuff, but those people can't write the stories because they don't believe them. We are so far away from there's something in this world worth fighting for, Frodo. Like, Philippa Boyens wrote that, and then she did War of the Rohirrim, where this woman killed her father, she got all of her family killed, and then it's a feminist drama about her coming into her own power. And, like, that's an entirely different thing. This is more about, no, the world needs to understand how I'm strong as a woman. It's like, yeah, but no one cares about you.
I don't need to know that you're a strong woman. I don't need you to be reaffirmed that you're a strong woman to find out, oh, I've been strong all along.
That was actually the story of War of the Rohirrim. That her father, as he's dying, goes, no, you should be the leader. I should have made you the leader a long time ago. Like, it is, like, legitimately every trope. She rides out, she's perfect as everything. She can hunt things that nobody else can possibly hunt. It was right from the start. She gets her father killed.
Like, it's a sad thing because we have, like, the story of Eowyn, which, you know, she is literally the girl boss before a girl boss, but not really a girl boss. And I love her
Galadriel as well. Like, Galadriel can just rip people apart with magic. Which is why it was so stupid to give her a sword. Like, why would this mage use a sword when her magic is 10 or 10,000 times stronger than it?
What was it? Stick, twist, and gut.
Yeah. It's like, even that, it's like, okay, on the one hand, you can get away with it. You're an elf. Elves have, like, they because they live forever, they are the most elite warriors because they can do nothing but train. That all makes sense. So she will beat, like, human men and stuff. That actually makes sense. But you can't then show us training that you don't know anything about. If you're going to show us training swords, get, like, a professional in who knows about swords that can tell you how this actually goes. But they don't seem to. They're like, no, I can do everything.
Yeah, and I mean, even
the worst moment. I just remember this. The worst moment in the entire show for me is when so this guy, his girlfriend gets captured or something. They go and rescue them, brings her back, and she's like making eyes at this other guy, and she's in his house, and she goes, you know, my husband, he built our own house with his own bare hands, and as he laid the foundation of the rock, he said over this house, I hope this house lasts as strong and for as long as our love lasts. It made me feel sick. I'm like, what the hell is this? This isn't Tolkien. This is like some weird divorcee going around going, I hate men, this is disgusting.
A man builds me a house and I'm sickened by it. What the F?
Like, he's literally saying, I hope our love lasts as long as this house. It made me feel sick. I lost it at that exact moment. Like, what on earth am I watching?
Like, if a man wanted to build a house for me, wait, what?
with his bare hands. Like, this was back in the time when building a house was like, he would go and gather his own stones. He would go and cut trees down and bring the logs to you by hand himself.
Okay. I'm ready to be in bed.
As soon as you build the beds, we're going in it.
No man has offered to build me a house before, but yet I'm so turned on by this notion.
Well, this thing, the guy just dragging the trunks back with his bare hands. I mean, that is the start of Little House on the Prairie. They buy a bit of land and he just builds them a house out of logs. Like, that's what you used to do. There was no planning permission or getting other people to do it.
It's so crazy how demanding some women are. Oh, you have to be social, but not too social. Oh, you have to have enough money, but not too much money, but not too little money. But also, you have to be hot, but not too hot. Not too many muscles, not too skinny, not too tall, but tall enough. And all this. And it's like, and I hate saying this line because this is such a red pill line. What do you bring to the table?
Well,
like,
no,
my
favorite thing that was done is they go up to a woman and say, so, you know, if you had a horrible accident and you got, like, sealed up down there, how would you keep your husband? And they all go, well, there's other orifices. And the guy's like, you do realize that you just listed yourself as a person as just, like, a series of holes? It's like, you didn't for once go, no, well, he loves me, or I can cook for him, I can do this for him. It's like, you know, I've got another place you can stick it. It's the only way they felt immediately.
I have my ears, my belly buttons, my nose.
He's in the ear or nothing.
If it's not in that other hole,
I don't know whether you ever seen the Ricky Gervais Animals comedy, but in that he shows like a drawing, like a book of drawings of dolphins. or like different ways that animals, like positions of animals. And one of them was dolphins, and it said in the blowhole. And he said, can you imagine being a dolphin? It's like it's in the blowhole or nothing. And then he goes, I'd like to point out, that isn't a photograph. There is absolutely no proof that this exists. It just seems to be one guy drawing pictures that he would like to happen in the universe.
Just all the different blowholes that's possible.
Well, this is an artist who just like, no, this is definitely a nature documentary and not my weird contained smut.
True. Anyways. We have gone so off the rails. Did we at least hit the topics? Okay, we talked about Stephen Colbert ever so lightly. And okay, we talked about Harry Potter backlash, right? Sort of, kind of, not really. Black Snape casting, stupid.
It snowballs the issue. So once you've decided that you can change one thing in a production, you're willing to change more and more and more, because the moment you do one thing, it makes it easier to do the next thing. But my issue is a lot different than a lot of other people in F&T and stuff, because they're coming out with all of these like American cultural things that will now get referenced because of that. And that's my issue with it. The very changing of Snape is an American cultural thing into a British property. There would be no need to change it in a British property. And if you were going to do it, if you wanted to do it like representation in England, you wouldn't have chosen an African. You would have chosen a different group of people. And so it doesn't make any sense. So now we're going to have things like lynchings and stuff being brought up in a British property when that never happened in the UK at all.
Or
and so
like
you are Americanizing... Yeah, you are American. You are bringing American problems to a British place where it doesn't need to happen, and solving problems that never would have existed in the first place for us. And that's my main issue with it, because obviously I'm not a big Harry Potter guy, so there's no kind of destroying an IP level for me. I'm just annoyed that like now I've got to put up with a load of baggage, like cultural baggage, that shouldn't even be in the property in the first place.
Yeah. Oh God. This music sucks.
Yeah, it always does. I don't know why it has to be in everything. I hate it when it's in trailers. Ruins trailers.
Sorry.
But a lot of these memes, I don't even I don't even understand a lot of these memes because I'm not American. So I don't even get them.
Fair enough. And like when it comes to Snape, I don't really care about like at this point, I've black-pilled so much on Hollywood that I don't care what they do. It's more of a, let's watch the degradation of what's going on. And then, like I said, as much as I hate it, I've watched movies like Total Recall, and it is, okay, Colin Farrell, it is gold in comparison to today's movies.
Yeah, I mean, with that... People were comparing it to the first Total Recoil, and in that, I can see why people like its ass. On its own, I think I still enjoyed the movie. I've never watched it again, but I didn't dislike it when I was walking out the cinema. Of course, it's got Kate Beckinsale in. I was never going to dislike it.
It's a good movie, especially with the lens of 2026. I cannot hate it. I don't think it's the greatest, but I think in contrast, it's like gold. So I would give it like mid. It's a mid movie.
Yeah, it's fine. I didn't regret watching it. I think it probably is worthwhile watching. I think the main issue that people hated it so much is because it is nothing like Total Recoil. Recoil? Total Recoil.
Everyone said Total Recoil?
Even me, I stopped. I'm like, did I say that? I'm not even sure.
You or me? Who are we making fun of, chat? I need to know. It could be either or.
No, I was the one that said Total Recoil. That's why I paused and said, did I say that? But, the original movie is absolutely nothing. It's not even remotely similar. And so I don't even know why it was remade in that way. And so that caused a lot of backlash going beyond just the quality of the movie. And if you watch the original, you'll understand why.
No, it was you.
I didn't say it a few times. That was the first time I said it.
Total Recoil. Got it.
The rest is just my accent.
We are discriminating Disparu for his accent. It's fine.
Bring back discrimination. I miss discriminating. Discriminating taste used to be a compliment. It's like, no, I only have the highest of quality of food.
Yeah.
But bring back discrimination.
I mean, If we get better food out of discrimination, I'm okay with it.
Well,
I
no,
love
discriminating
food.
taste literally means that you have standards, whereas acceptance and inclusion means you have no
Well,
standards.
that's why we have
People should
Michelin
never brag
stars.
about that.
Oh, can we just say Glenn Powell? Are you happy with that as Fox, McCloud, and Super Mario? Yay or nay?
I don't know anything about Super Mario, to be
I
honest.
don't know anything either. But if he better, okay, cool. But I don't think Glenn Powell has superstar material. Sorry.
I don't know. Isn't he just a voice actor? So you never
He's
sure.
just a voice
'Cause-
actor. But I mean, Bree is a voice actor, and there was also like a couple others that were in even the previous movie. Who was Donkey Kong again? Seth. Was it Seth MacFarlane?
I don't know. I just remember that a lot of people had a problem with Chris Pratt as Mario, and then they're like, he was actually really good. So I don't think you can
Chris
ever
Pratt
really
did a
tell.
good job. And you don't have to be the most liked actor or actress to be a voice actor. I actually think that if you, as a voice actor, could do 2 or 3 plus characters, you're a good voice actor.
Oh yeah, but I think in this regard as well, it seems like you've seen Brie that I think Nintendo has a greater grasp on their actors than Hollywood does. They're like, no, this is a family
Absolutely.
movie. We want it done like the way. Just praise the games. Just do all the nice stuff. Don't answer bad questions. Don't give anyone any room for that kind of thing. Dress, it's traditional gender roles. It's all fine. And I think that's good for actors. You give them pathways they go down, and as Gary keeps saying, they always say, I'll be whatever you need me to be. And so you just tell them the good thing to be. Don't give them the free
That's
rein.
what a good actor is all about.
Well, yeah, but in PR as well, all this stuff, like Mark Ruffalo, anyone who like you just read his Twitter feed, that is a guy that needs to be gagged by his agent. Like, these people, it's just
He'd
bad
like
for
it
their
too.
career. Well, yes, I think there's a few people in Hollywood like that. They may enjoy it too much, and like, no, please, gag me again, or I'll
Please,
say
more, Daddy.
it. Like, no, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
But yeah, it's kind of wild to see. We're still, I feel like we're still in some sort of a swing. In what direction, I don't know, but there's glimmers of hope in some IPs, and then there's like Starfleet Academy. So that swing we're hoping for somewhere in the middle, because I don't want it to swing far over to one side or the other. I just want to find more entertaining movies. I want to go to the movies weekly and have a movie I want to see. Is that too much to ask? Apparently it is.
Well, the issue is, yeah, they might be trying to change because of money, but unless they are willing to get rid of the people that are there and hire based people, I don't see how they change. I don't think they're like, this is the point. They have done this for so long. Their entire companies are rotten from head to toe. And so even now, if they want to change, I'm not even sure they'd know which direction to go in. I don't think they've thought about the problems. Because if they believe their own propaganda, that all they have to do is like lower diversity and everything will fix itself. No. Like, the problems go beyond that. That was never the problem in the first place. There was never the problem with the story.
It's
that was just
symptom.
that was a sign that the people that think that's a problem also can't write stories. And it shows where your priorities are. And so those kind of things are great filters and working out who you need to fire in your company. But it's not going to solve the problem of just basic morality in a story, which I think is required, and gender roles. And so even if they want to change, I don't know how they get back from this.
Apparently one step at a time, but I guess we're just gonna watch and see what happens.
They just need to put an executive in who everybody despises, and just hire the most base person in Hollywood who is renowned for being incredibly disagreeable, who pisses them all off, put them in charge, and then just give them free reign to get rid of anybody they want. And just go through the entire company like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Because there was a guy who reported his job was to like hiring and firing a company. This is the guy they brought in to find people who weren't really pulling their weight and just fire them. And a guy went, Don't you really not like your job, though, that you've got to fire all these people? He went, no, I like it. Because the people I fire are the ones that are getting paid for doing nothing. Or they actively harm the company. It's like,
worth losing that money.
He essentially saw himself as bringing justice to the company. These people never should have been there in the first place. And you see that in Hollywood when, like, well, a lot of people, I'm not going to criticize it because a lot of people put a lot of work into this. It's like, yeah, it doesn't mean it's good. Like, some people will put a lot of work into something and not make it good. Like, that's their problem. They don't celebrate them for it.
And the worst part is because there's so many departments that are involved, if one is tainted, it could ruin the whole movie or TV show.
Yeah, especially writing. I don't know how you come back from a bad script or no script. Like, things like that and things that just need to change. You can't do that. And there's all those kind of things. The actors, I think the actors are, like, fluid enough that they will just do whatever you tell them. You can just direct them as long as they've got talent. They'll just do whatever they're told. But I would love to get back to the days where we just started shouting at people on set again. Just, like, make it far more. You do something crap, we tell you. Those are the days I want.
Pre-COVID.
Well, even during that.
Well,
Tom Cruise's rant.
Who was it? Was sent this? Let me see if I can find it. But there was in like some Spanish country, you could get in a lot of trouble interrupting a woman. Okay,
Brazil have just come out with a new law where misogyny is classified as disagreeing with a woman. And so if you interrupt or say a woman is wrong, that is misogyny, and now you can go to prison for multiple years. And they wanted to pass something like that in the UK. And I think when that,
surprised.
Well, I think when that happens, the only solution that you have is you just can't talk to women anymore. You actually can't. You have to separate yourself because they are far
It's going to be illegal for you to talk to them.
Well, it's far too much of a risk for you. And this happened with me too. Men stopped like coaching and doing like one-to-ones with women because if they just accuse them, they lose their entire life. So the only thing that happens is you have to separate from them. Well, no, because it hurt the women. Because the women were now coming along and going, I don't have like mentors and stuff. I'm not getting trained in any of these things. It's like, yeah, but you cannot be around the men without another person in the room because he can't trust you just to not make something up. And even if you're like, even if you know them and you're like, no, I trust you, but at the same time, you're not worth my life. And that's the same way it comes with all these other laws. You're just like, well, that's it then. There's always going to have to be, you can only deal with it. I'm not going to prison for someone else's hurt feelings. I would rather just not talk to you. That's the only option you're left with.
I agree with that. Absolutely. So, all right, I'm drunk. I have to pee. We have one more.
I've seen you flagging over time. Like, oh.
Yeah. Thrashy face. Thrashy face? I didn't think I said that right. For $2 is Miki's hot dude wedding tax.
I initially read that as hot dude wedding wax. I was like, wait, what's happening?
If you need a wedding wax, I will recommend you someone.
I've got contacts.
I do. I'm not going to do it, but
it'd be really weird going to get someone to wax you that you knew. Can you imagine? Really strange.
My streamer that I watch waxes my balls. Yeah, no.
It's a kick stream waiting to happen.
I have not waxed balls probably in a decade.
I don't know why anyone would want them waxed in the first place. I think that's really weird.
It's. I don't know. You'd have to ask the men. I can't speak. For them.
I remember.
Directly.
Do you remember the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin? I don't know if you've seen it. The comedy.
Yes. Kelly Clarkson.
The back shaving. Oh no, he was waxing. He had his back waxed. That was his real hair. Like he is genuinely that hairy. And he said he will never have it done again because for months afterwards or something like that, he had problems with ingrowing hairs. He had loads of issues with it all.
To be fair, I don't think he was someone I would want to wax anyways. He was
he was like a carpet. It was crazy.
But for like, I as much as you and I disagree on this, I think like, you know, when it comes to certain like ear hairs and maybe middle eyebrow hairs, that's fine. I don't mind that. I think that's like a valid.
That's a world away from having an ingrowing hair down there. That's got to be painful.
Yeah, and I think especially when it comes to like the middle eyebrow hair and like trimming your eyebrows, especially if you're Italian or like one of the really hairy Middle Eastern men. I've seen you guys. The ear hair is a little crazy, so please take care of that. Especially if you're growing ear hair on the earlobes. Okay, that's a bit much, but hey.
It was fine for the hobbits. They had hair on their feet.
they had wives, okay? To be fair.
It's the thing with the dwarves. At least the dwarven men could be as hairy as they wanted because the women still had beards.
This is funny here. Dick Devil for 5 says, "Holy crap! We grilled steak, had dinner, watched a dumb show, and you guys are still going. Is this Saucy Saturday competition?" When
this is what happens when Wicked isn't here. Yeah.
And I knew this. I knew this. We would go long. And this is, I'm still trying to rein it in because I actually have to pee now.
That's how the stream always ends.
Yes, my need
I'm sorry, I've got to go. I need
urinate.
to pee.
So since we're anything, just for what are you up to for the next few days?
The next video is going to be Lord of the Rings Stephen Colbert video. And then I think I had other things planned, but I don't know off the top of my head. Oh, Russell T. Davis. That's going to be the one afterwards.
Nice. Oh my god. I also think I'm tired because I also woke up at 6 a.m. this morning. My time, and it's almost 11. So I am going to go to bed. Tomorrow, Forbidden Frontier, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, on Neurotic Live. I'm going to be moving within the next few weeks. I am e-begging. Without a, what's the word for it? Without a vest. DSP.
You're like, buy me furniture so that my stream doesn't sound awful with the echo.
Yeah, but realistically, if you do buy stuff on stream, these are things that I actually require. I have been very blessed. Chad has bought me a lot of stuff where I can start my life. These are things that are required to live, such as apparently towel holders. Realistically, it's really the first 2 lines. I would like a squatty potty so my butt doesn't fall out of it in prolapse. But little things like that, buckets, towel holders. I don't know. I just feel disgusting now saying this. But if you want, throne.com/xrightgirl. On streams, I do shots for these things. And so I think it's well worth, especially because this is all in Canadian money. So, you might get a shot for, funnels and stuff like that. Anyways, so that's it.
Which is normally something people drink alcohol in the student days. Drinking a funnel was an entirely different experience.
Oh, I definitely did that in my student years. That was so fun. That was so fun.
People were just pouring random alcohol in and just drank the sludge.
Yeah. So, if you guys want to support my moving out of my incel basement of my mother/brother's home, you can do that there. No butt chucking. Although,
I don't see the appeal, to be honest. Or through the eyeball. That's also weird.
Ew.
You're not seeing that? People doing vodka shots through there because it goes in through there.
It's
supposed to get into your bloodstream.
But okay. Scientifically speaking, butt chugging overcomes the liver pass. So when you ingest fluids, it goes to your liver, your organs, for ingestion, your intestines go through the liver. So it semi-processes things, and then it goes to the rest of your body, and then you feel the drunk effects. If you do it through,
but surely there's a reason why your liver processes stuff, and now your liver isn't, and that could, I would imagine, cause problems.
Bypasses the liver, and now you're getting the full effect of all whatever is going through. And that's why some drugs, it's actually good to bypass the liver. But when it comes to alcohol, I do not think it's an actual good idea to do that, but people still do it anyways. Scientifically speaking. I'm not
just
speaking
wouldn't
from
want
experience.
to. Like, the last thing I want to do on a night out is start shoving tubes.
But yeah, I'm not saying you should do it, but that's scientifically why people do it.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I could even understand if it's like an old wives' tale and no one actually did it, but if anyone actually does it, I'm like, who was the first person to think of that, and what did he think he was doing at the time?
I mean, I don't know. This is like with all medicine. Why did you smoke or ingest or make it into a tea that leaf?
Look, it's the same with milk. Who was looking at cow's orders and thinking, I'm going to have a crack on those.
Or the
it's like, oh, milk.
Just saying. But anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm so sorry, Wicked.
Yes. Always thank the people that ate the dangerous mushrooms so that you don't have to.
Thank you for butt chugging, I guess. We'll put that out there.
Especially if you're doing that while watching the stream. That
Please
is a
don't do
weird
that.
combination.
While watching this stream, please
Yeah.
don't. No. But yes, I would know, I'm not thanking the first person, it's just thanking you guys for being here, for withstanding us because Wicked's not here. And I am
To move us on from a topic.
praying her channel is still up. After we
Be
destroyed
fine.
It's fine. So yes, thank you guys so much. Hope you guys all have a great evening. I cannot send you off somewhere, but there's a bunch of streams you guys can go to. Dim Sum Bun Maxing. Hell yeah.
Dim sum.
And now we'll see you guys later. Bye.
I forgot your name was that. See ya.